Thank you. We may take our seats. So I'm told, Ore, if there is any MEC who did not dress for the occasion, we're not sure what will happen to the budget. That is on a lighter note. Good morning, honorable members. We are here today in a very nice day where all of us, we are very excited to be coming towards this end. It has been a hectic year, but anyway, we'll now proceed. I want to apologize that we did not do the prayer. Can we please rise again? Thank you so much. Honorable PAD, I think your title is very important now. It becomes relevant. Thank you so much. We'll now proceed to the day, the 29th November 2024, where our sitting will proceed with the orders of the day today. The programming committee has continued to indicate to us that because of the business that we'll be considering, there will be no motion without notice, Rule 145. Notice of motion, Rule 146. Statement by members, Rule 199, and executive members, Rule 200. So those motions we don't have. We'll now proceed to item 6 immediately. The table of the reports and other reports and papers. 6.1, tabling of the Auditor General's 2023-2024 Consolidated General Report of the National and Provincial Audit Outcomes, which will be presented by Honorable MEC Mawai, MEC for Provincial Treasury Province.
Madam Speaker, members of the Provincial Legislature, Section 188, subsection 3 of the Republic of South Africa Constitution, 1996, Act number 108 of 1996, provides that the Auditor General must submit audit reports to any legislature that has a direct interest in the audit. Madam Speaker, in accordance with the provisions of the above-mentioned legislation, and in terms of Section 21 of the Public Audit Act, Act number 25 of 2004, I therefore table in this august House the Consolidated General Report on the national and provincial audit outcomes for consideration. I thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you very much, Honorable MEC. The 2023-2024 Auditor General's Report, Consolidated General Report on the National and Provincial Audit Outcomes is referred to the Portfolio Committee on Provincial Treasury and SCOPA for consideration and the report back to the House. 6.2, tabling of the withdrawal of the annual report of social development for the financial year ending 31 March 2024, on behalf of the MEC for Social Development, MEC Radzilani, MEC Honorable Mabungulu Ramakanya, MEC for Education will be standing on her behalf.
Dimachironi, Honorable Speaker, let me take this time to greet yourself, to the Deputy Chair of Chairs, to the Chief Whip, colleagues, Honorable MECs, the Chairperson of the Portfolio Committee for Social Development and its members, and also Honorable members of the House. I stand here for the tabling of the withdrawal of the annual report for the year ending 31st March 2024 for the Department of Social Development, which is for 12. In terms of Public Finance Management Act of 1999, Section 65, 1A, the executive authority responsible for the department or public entity must table in the provincial legislature annual report, financial statements and audit report within 1 month after accounting officer for the department received the audit report. Section 40, subsection 2 of the PFMA requires the Auditor General to issue the audit report by 31st July. On receipt of the audit report on 31st July 2024, the department immediately requested the Auditor General to reconsider the aspect of the report related to the annual financial statements. The Auditor General formally responded on the 2nd October 2024. On the basis of the response, the department submitted a letter to the legislature requesting the withdrawal of the annual report for 2024 to pursue a dispute in line with the applicable AG process and procedures. The department has, in terms of the reporting requirements, submitted the annual report, financial statement and audit report to the legislature by 30 September 2024 to comply with the timely process of tabling annual reports in the provincial legislature. The department has formally lodged a dispute with the AG regarding an aspect of audit report related to the annual financial statement for the year ending 31st March 2024. Due to the decision of the Department of Social Development to pursue the AG process for resolving the dispute, the withdrawal of the annual report is imperative. The implication of the withdrawal of the annual report is that the annual report must follow the National Treasury guideline for the late tabling of annual report once the legislature accedes to the withdrawal of the currently submitted annual report in line with Section 65, subsection 2A of the PFMA. On completion of the dispute resolution process, the department will retable the annual report. The AG has committed to expedite the process. The department therefore requests the legislature to accede to the request to withdraw the annual report for the financial year ending 31st March 2024 for vote 12 on the basis of the ongoing dispute in line with the applicable rules of the House. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable MEC. The matter is referred to the Portfolio Committee on Social Development for consideration and report back to the House. Thank you, Honorable Mate.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. I would think, I'm not so sure if my understanding.
Honorable Mate is wearing a nice shirt.
What is the implication, Honorable Slan, Doctor?
He's wearing a nice shirt. He has got the key of the bar.
Order, Honorable Dr. Slane. Honorable Mate on the floor.
Today I mean business and serious business, because the business that we're dealing with is serious. I know we have a strategic alliance with Dr. Honorable Salan, but the person that we have grouped against, she's not here, so there is no need to redirect that attack to me. Honorable Speaker, unless if my understanding of the processes, and I'm speaking with an understanding that if I do not understand, I would be guided. There is a request for the withdrawal of the report, annual report, that was submitted in the legislature. Therefore, my thinking was that after that request has been tabled, we as members of this legislature would be requested or be expected to either second the request or not, so that the process does not need to go back to the Portfolio Committee. And Chair, and Honorable Speaker, as the chairperson of that Portfolio Committee, with the evidence that has been provided, the letter that has been sent to the minister, and all the legal processes as outlined in the.
Honorable Mata, I think you are not quoting any rule that you want to put this matter as a point of order.
No, I'm not saying, I'm not raising a point of order.
What are you raising?
I'm saying that this process should not go back to the portfolio committee.
Then I rule you out of order.
We are seconding the withdrawal.
But I rule you out of order.
You want us to withdraw it next year?
But I rule you out of order, Honorable Mata.
Okay, my dear friend.
Thank you, Chair. You are the chair of the committee.
And I support the withdrawal.
Okay. We are happy that you support the withdrawal, but that debate will happen in the portfolio committee.
On a point of order, Speaker.
What is the point of order?
Speaker, on a point of order, and this is just for clarity seeking. This matter served in a portfolio, and the portfolio made it clear that we are not going to allow the withdrawal. And I find it then.
I've ruled Mate, who's the chair, to withdraw because I will not allow you to bring the debates of the portfolio committee in this house. So, all of you are out of order. The matter has been referred back formally by this legislature to the committee. We'll now proceed. We'll now proceed in terms of the orders of the day. We'll now be going to item 7.2, the motion of the suspension of Rule 173 of the standing rules and orders of the House by the Chief Whip. Honorable Chief Whip.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, and good morning, honorable members and the members of the executive present here, the Wibari, members from the opposition benches, people in the gallery. Good morning. Madam Speaker, House Rule 173 provides that unless otherwise provided in these rules, not more than one stage of the bill may be taken on the same sitting day if objection to a further stage is made by 4 or more members. It has therefore become necessary to invoke the provision of House Rule 5 to suspend the provision of House Rule 173 in order to allow the House to finalize the Limpopo Appropriation Bill 2024 B02-2024 today. I move accordingly, Madam Speaker.
Can I check the House? Is there any seconder for us to suspend Rule 173? Honorable Smale.
Honourable Speaker, I stand to second the proposal made by the Honourable Chief Whip. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We'll now proceed to 7.1.1, second reading debate on the Limpopo Adjustment Appropriation Bill 2024, B03-2024. We shall now refer to the speakers list. The honorable member opening the debate. I'm jumping the chair. I apologize. Can I get the chair to move the report? He must tell us his title so that you are able to call him the right title.
The title is still coming, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I stand before this August House to present the report on the Portfolio Committee on Provincial Treasury on the Limpopo Adjustment Appropriation Bill of 2024 for consideration and adoption.
Any seconder, honorable members? Honorable,
My name is Honorable
Nkonyana.
Ngonyana.
yeah.
I brought this jacket in case. So I therefore second the motion as moved by the Honorable the Chair. I thank you, Speaker.
Thank you so much. We shall now refer to the speakers list. Honorable Christian Nkakareng Rakhwale Mauneo.
Okay. Honorable Speaker, Member Koma Grace Makrubeji, Maucheo, the Chief Whip of the Majority Party, Honorable Mohonyana Esop, the Deputy Chair of Chairs, Honorable Peter, Hassani Peter Ngoveni Mlambia, MECs present today, the Portfolio Chairperson, Ntate Maseka Solomon Piedi, and all honorable members, good morning. Good morning. I'm one person who likes attention, unfortunately. And yeah, thank you so much. Honorable Speaker, the Limpopo 2024 medium-term provincial budget overview was presented at an era where both the country and the province have progressively assessed the seventh administration's 100 days of progress since its inception. We also have seen progress on load shedding, where as a country, apart from reductions in some places, we have gone beyond 120 days continuously without interruptions. The intended purpose of the provincial budget will always be to boost economic growth, enhance service delivery, reduce unemployment rate, poverty and inequality, and to provide better life for all the Limpopo citizens, including Honorable Smali. On provincial spending patterns, the projected over expenditure of 779 million occurred as a result of the following. One, the Department of Education overspent by 224 million on contractual obligations due to fiscal consolidation of scholar transport and e-learning, while the Department of Health overspent an amount of 250 million on non-negotiable items such as medicine supplies and contractual obligations. The Department of Social Development has also overspent due to under-budgeting on COE, while the Limpopo legislature's overspending was caused due to additional 15 members from 49 to 64. There's a projected underspending on 100 million in the Department of Sport, Arts and Culture on provincial theatre, which has long been under construction, and it is necessary that the department must prepare progress reports on this project. The Limpopo provincial equitable share for 2023-2024 financial year was 67.8 billion, increased to 70.5 billion through adjustment budgets tabled in November 2023 and March 2024 respectively. Respectively. The overall equitable share for the financial year 2023-2024 rather is 69.6 billion or 98.8%, resulting in underspending of 871.3 million or 1.2%. The departments applied for a rollover amounting to 190.1 million. An amount of 175.7 million was approved as a result, was approved as equitable share rollover from 2023-2024 to 2024-2025 financial year. Included in the rollover is 47.5 million under 2023-2024 revenue retention for legislature. Departments have surrendered and spent funds as per the Treasury Instruction Note 1 of 2024-2025. The province spent 11.2 billion of the adjusted allocation of 11.4 billion on conditional grants and rollovers. An amount of 2,200,000 million was not spent at the province, applied for the rollover of what? Of 133.6 million. Numbers, Honorable Apet Nugo, is not a child's play. The National Treasury approved a rollover of 132.2 million, while an additional amount of 90.8 million rollover approval confirmed for RAL, especially for Walisizo project. And therefore, the province will surrender an amount of 68.6 million to be allocated as follows: to the Department of Education, 53.3 million; to the Department of Agriculture, 7.7 million; to the Department of Public Works, Roads and Infrastructure, 5.4 million. Honorable Speaker, as mandated by Section 12, subsection 4 of the Money Bills and Related Matters Act of 2009, amended in 2018, the Minister have responsibility to table the Division of Revenue Amendment Bill together with the medium-term budget policy statement. And the bill recommended some changes which will need the Honorable House to consider and adopt, as was discussed by the Department and the Portfolio Committee. An overall amount of 3.7 million has been added to the 3 district municipalities in Limpopo for their municipal systems improvement grant. Therefore, the initial allocation increased from 20.1 million to 23.8 million after the 2024 adjustment and will be utilized as follows. Vembe District Municipality was allocated an amount of 2.4 million, whereby 340 was added, and the adjusted allocation is amounting to 2.8 million. Waterberg District Municipality got an allocation of 12.4 million, wherein 2.1 million was added, and the adjusted allocation is now 14.5 million. Sikokune District Municipality's allocation was 1.1 million. An amount of 1.2 million was added, and the overall adjusted allocation is now 2.4 million. Honorable Speaker, a total of 87.6 million was added to 4 local municipalities, being Lephalale, Bilabila, Modimolle Mokgopong, and Elias Motsoaledi in Limpopo for municipal disaster recovery grant. The initial allocation increased from 44.7 million to 132.3 million after the 2024 adjustment. For Lephalale local municipality, there was no allocation done, but however, the adjustment budget allocated was 19.4 million. Therefore, there was no allocation also for Bilabila local municipality, but there was no additional funds allocated, but an amount of 11.5 million was budgeted. Modimolle Mokgopong local municipality, no allocation done in the municipality as well, but the budget adjustment allocation of 28.9 million was made. There was no additional allocation done for Elias Motsoaledi municipality. However, the budget adjustment of 27.6 million was allocated. Honorable Speaker, allow me on behalf of Treasury Portfolio Committee to request the House to consider and adopt the report for the Limpopo Adjustment Appropriation Bill as a report of this House. Happy birthday, Honorable Max, and all the best, colleagues, until we meet again in January. Thank you.
Till we meet in January. Thank you so much. The next is Honorable Smale Jacobus Frederick.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. Good morning to Honourable MECs and members of this August House and officials and colleagues. On the onset, let me just say that the Democratic Alliance do support the Adjustment Appropriation Bill that has been put forward. The 2024 Medium-Term Budget Policy Statement, which precedes and influenced Limpopo 2024 Adjustment Appropriate Bill, was the first delivered by the Government of National Unity, of which the Democratic Alliance is a partner. Our ability as a nation to overcome the unsustainable economic and fiscal challenges we face will depend on the GNU's capacity to fully implement structural reforms that addresses impediments to growth. This must be achieved while exercising fiscal restraint, improving government ethics, and enhancing state capabilities, including here in Limpopo. Regarding the Adjustment Appropriate Bill before us today, the Democratic Alliance must express concerns over the governance of some of the Limpopo's administrations in their various government departments and its efficiency of that spending. We must ask ourselves, are our communities receiving benefits to commensurate with the magnitude of government's expenditure? Are we creating a better life for all? Speaker, we note that the net effect of the proposed adjustments is an upward revision of approximately 835 million rand for the current fiscal year to address spending pressures. However, we issue the following caution. Similar fundings to address over-expenditure may not be available under the 2025 medium-term expenditure framework, given our constrained fiscal environment. Departments and entities must ensure recurring costs remain within stipulated baselines and must focus on improving efficiency and effectiveness in light of these constraints. Despite these constraints, we welcome the 83 million rand increased revenue generated by the Gambling Board and the 239 million rand in interest revenue from Treasury. For vote 1 of the Office of the Premier, we welcome the 1.6 million rand allocated towards disaster recovery services and the provincial energy strategy, which are critical given the nature of our disasters that continue to plague Limpopo. On vote 2, we acknowledge the necessity of an upward adjustment to accommodate for the increase of members in this August House. We also commend the increased allocation in vote 3 towards scholar transport and the reprioritization of the 223 million rand for e-learning through the procurement and distribution of our ICT in our various schools. Vote 4, we support the increased allocation for disaster awareness, the procurement of animal feed, and the 12.5 million rand set aside to combat foot and mouth disease. In vote 6, we note the concern, the significant reduction in its allocation, particularly due to the surrendering of 360 million rand in the earmarked funding of the Special Economic Zone. We remain troubled by the governance issues surrounding the Makati Messina SEZ project and the performance of LEADER in driving economic development. We also further welcome the 117 million rand allocated to the Department of Health, which will address pressures relating to contractual obligations, operational needs, and non-negotiable items like medicine and medical supplies. Under vote 9, Public Works and Roads and Transport, we note the 402 million rand increase, much of which is allocated to the troublesome road agency Limpopo to address roads, project pressures and supplement constant cost for the Steelpoort Steel Bridge project. In conclusion, we must remind ourselves that the GNU was formed in response to years of poor and reckless governance that has brought South Africa to its needs economically and physically, threatening the very sovereignty of our nation. Today, we are striving to claw our way out of multiple crises. Our priorities are clear. We urgently need economic growth, job creation, poverty reduction, and the developmental of an ethical and capable state. Do we have an ethical and capable provincial administration? And does this adjustment appropriation bill advance the structural reforms necessary to remove impediments to growth? That is the fundamental question we as the 7th administration will have to answer to ourselves and administrate over the next 5 years. Thank you, Honourable Speaker.
Thank you so much, Honorable Smale. The EFF is not here. We'll request Moruti Piedi Batlo Rotsalela the debate. Honorable Piedi. Why does he look surprised? Because he told me in confidence. And you know, he told me that you must be careful. He made sure that he doesn't have flu
Honorable
and prayed for the MEC not to have flu. Otherwise, the whole Limpopo is going to catch flu today.
Honorable Speaker, as you correctly quoted me, I've been looking for quite some time when I heard that there are honorables with different titles, and I checked with me and find it very difficult to find the suitable title. And I tried to apply to South African Council of Churches just to at least to get a certificate that will call me man of God. So don't call me man of God for now. I'm still waiting for the result from South African Council of Churches. Honorable Speaker, allow me this opportunity to pass my greetings to yourself, as well as the Premier on absentia, the executive members, referring to our MEC who are in this August House, as well as the Honorable MEC Dr. K. Mawai, and members of the African National Congress, as well as other members from other different political parties, members of the public in the gallery, members of media, and the entire Limpopo citizens. Honorable Speaker, let me continue from where Honorable Muniz left off yesterday when she quoted President Nelson Mandela when he said, open quote, South Africa will never be free until the people of Palestine, as well as the people of Western Sahara, are free, close quote. Honorable Speaker, I don't think the world will rest until the lives of the people of Palestine who are massacred, butchered by Israel are saved. Honorable Speaker, the MEC for Finance in the province has tabled an adjustment budget in terms of Section 31 of the Public Finance Management Act of 1999 in the provincial legislature to provide for the following: unforeseen and unavoidable as recommended by the Provincial Executive Council with a framework determined by the Minister of Finance, as well as an expenditure in terms of Section 25 of the Public Finance Management Act pertaining the use of funds during the time of emergency and disastrous situations. Money to be appropriated for expenditure already announced by the MEC for Finance during the tabling of the annual budget. The shifting of funds between and within votes or to follow the transfer of functions are informed by Section 42 of the PFMA. The utilizations of savings under main divisions with a vote for the defrayment of access expenditure under another main division within the same vote in terms of Section 43 of the Public Finance Management Act, and as well as the rollover of an unspent funds from the preceding financial year. And therefore, Madam Speaker, proposed adjustments for provincial departments and allocations are in the following order. As I said to you, if we are not coming to this podium, Limpopo will be catching cold. Treasury must come and release the funds so that the Limpopo can move on. The Limpopo legislature budget adjusted upward by 98.9 million rands from the 549.5 million rands to 648.4 million rands to be used, amongst other things, for transfers and subsidies inclusive of compensation of employees due to an increase in the number of members in the legislature that Honorable Rakwali said, as the number has increased from 49 to 64. The Department of Education's budget has increased by 30.7 million rands, which will be prioritized for scholar transport, procurement and distribution of ICT devices to schools to enable the smooth running of the e-learning, as she correctly said. I'm referring to Honorable Rahwan. The Department of Agriculture will receive a net additional funding of 63.4 million rands, upon which it will surrender 9.6 million rands for compensation of employees. From the adjusted budget, the department will reprioritize and relocate funds of security services, such as disaster awareness and procurement of animal feeds, and set aside a budget for foot and mouth disease, animal vaccines, and other related costs, as well as the refurbishment of broiler houses. Madam Speaker, the Department of Economic Development, Environment, and Tourism's budget was adjusted downward by 55.9 million rands. The decrease is mainly as a result of surrender earmarked funding for SEZ of 360 million rands to be reallocated for the year 2025-2026 financial year. The department will, however, receive additional funding amount to 312.6 million rands to be shared amongst the following. 250 million rands will be for Limpopo Economic Development Agency and for operational costs, as well as 5 million rands to Limpopo Tourism Agency to ease spending pressure on contractual obligations and collaborative marketing. 13.1 million rands to Limpopo Gambling Board as a retention of revenue surpluses, as well as the 12 million rands for the 2024-2025 Marula Event and Tourism Career Expo. 10 million rands for liquor and consumer affairs implementation costs. 4 million rands to operationalize Massive Resort. 18.5 million rands for other contractual obligations. Mr. Speaker, the Department of Health's budget increased by 117.5 million rands. The department will reprioritize and reallocate an amount of 645 million rands within the department. An additional of 100 million rands equitable shares is allocated to the department to ease budget pressure on operational items such as medical supplies, food supplies in hospitals, departmental fleet services, property payments, and contractual obligations. The Transport Department, Madam Speaker, received an additional increase of 31.4 million rands from 2.6 billion to 2.642 billion rands of its budget. The department plans to use the additional budget for the construction of Seshego and Toyando K53 testing stations, the construction costs of traffic training college, to procure land for Bandelirkop Way Bridge, as well as saving their fleets, pay for property maintenance and use of some money for contractual obligations. Madam Speaker, the department will surrender a total of 62.2 million rands from an earmarked refurbishment, or from an earmarked funds which include funding for training college, kitchen and canteen, traffic facilities refurbishment, Toyando taxi facility, Gateway Airports Authority Limited infrastructure project, and the COE. These funds will be allocated in the 2025-2026 financial year. And again, Honorable Speaker, the Department of Public Works received an increase of 402.9 million rands, which will be used or distributed in the following order. There's 3 to complete the Letaba A Hospital project, to supplement the procurement cost of an official building, refurbishment of Shamavunga and Unigaza buildings, replacement of the Executive Authority's vehicle, professional services for the construction of 15 houses, the 15 additional legislature members, and infrastructure project at the Parliamentary Village and Premier's Guest House, as well as replenishment and replacement of furniture at the Parliamentary Village. Honorable Speaker, the other one would be to pay municipal rates and taxes, service contractual obligations, and operational costs. The department will prioritize and reallocate an amount of 99.3 million rands within the department, and additional of 431.3
31 million for equitable shares is allocated to the department, of which 372.2 million will be transferred to road agency to fund roads project and supplement the construction cost of the steel bridge project, and 158.1 million rands to the department to ease budget pressure on operational items. Honorable Speaker, the Department of Sports, Art and Culture's budget decreases by 73 million rands from 827 million to 754 million rands. This follows a 100 million surrender to the Provincial Revenue Fund of earmarked funding for the construction of the Provincial Theatre, which will be relocated in 2025-2026 financial year. The department will receive additional equitable share funds of 15.6 million rands for contractual obligations, which include 10 million rands for the autumn and summer games and 2 million rands for the maintenance of Skumansdal Museum and 2.8 million rands for other operational costs. The department also receives conditional grants rollover approval of 11.3 million rands for the community library grants. Honorable Speaker, Cogstar's budget increase by 213.5 million rands from 2.4 billion to 2.687 billion. The additional equitable share includes the 50 million for human settlement infrastructure projects, an allocation of 50 million to support the Section 139 intervention in Tawazimbi municipality, which is an offset, which is a once-off. For legal fees and contractual obligations, as the municipality is heading for its by-elections on the 4th of December 2024. The department also received equitable share rollovers from the 2023-2024 to the 2024-2025 financial year of 52.8 million rands for payment of a crucial for motor vehicles purchased for traditional leaders to the value of 35.5 million rands and 12.5 million rands for to fund the construction of traditional council offices and 4.9 million rands for ICT equipment. The department will also receive conditional grant rollovers to the value of 59.7 million rand for the informal settlement partnership grant and human settlement development grant. Honorable Speaker, the Department of Social Development budget has increased by 27 million rands from 2 billion to 2.1 billion, mainly to ease spending pressure on contractual obligations. Honorable Speaker, we draw our aspirations from the word of wisdom and hope from President Thabo Mbeki when he said, open quote, "Together we have traveled a long road to be where we are today. This has been a road of struggle against colonial and apartheid system. As the ANC-led government, we are now engaging on another struggle, the struggle against poverty, inequality, and unemployment, and furthermore, fighting against the scourge of gender-based violence in our country. It shows that the journey is still very long. This is a long walk to freedom indeed. On the long journey, we sing the song, In the Lendlela Esihambayo. As the late Ray Phiri said, correctly said, Singajindi Majita, don't give up. Honorable Speaker, in conclusion, the recommendations from the Treasury Committee are in the following order. Honorable Speaker, Portfolio Committee notes, support and recommends for the approval of the 2024-2025 Limpopo Adjustment Appropriation Bill as follows. Conditional grants roll over of 132.2 billion rands from 2023-2024 to 2024-2025 financial year. An increase of provincial owned revenue by 410.2 billion rands, as well as the equitable share rollover of 172.7 billion rands from 2023-2024 to 2024-2025 financial year.
Recommendations are in the follow: the allocation of department and per entity as presented, and the proposal increase in provincial adjustment allocation from 83.1 billion to 83.9 billion. On behalf of, just pardon me, let me repeat this one, Honorable Speaker. Recommend allocation per department and per entity as presented, and the proposal increase in provincial adjustment allocation from 83.1 billion to 83.9 billion. And on behalf of the Portfolio Committee on Provincial Treasury, we therefore request the House to consider and adopt the report on the Limpopo Adjustment Appropriation Bill of 2024 as a report of this House. I so move, Honorable Speaker. Thank you.
Thank you so much, man of God. The name of God, also passagabotse. I will be the only one in the meantime using it. Thank you so much, Honorable Chair. We shall now call upon the Honorable MEC for Provincial Treasury, Honorable Khabu Mawai, to respond to the debate made by the honorable members. Honorable MEC.
Honorable Speaker, Honorable Chief Whip, Honorable Deputy Chair of Chairs, Honorable members of the legislature in your various statuses and what I can call, it's my humble pleasure, and indeed that's the first time I see the passage of a budget and the unanimous manner in a multi-partisan spirit emanating from the fact that this is a concurrent function, and therefore it takes more from the government of national unity. And I don't have words. There's nothing I can say rather than to acknowledge, appreciate, and really take into consideration all the views expressed by the various members who have debated this. I would not really repeat what they said, but maybe I'll pick up on few that I believe they should be considered. Yes, the concern over governance and efficiency is a concern for all. We believe that going forward, we don't have to rely on surrenders, or surrenders in particular, because if we plan well, we'll be able to do our work in a manner that we will spend in accordance with the plans, and therefore we will be able to deliver services, because at the end of the day, the budget is not for us. And I must emphasize that the budget is approved by the legislature. Until it is approved by the legislature, the principal force or authority is the legislature. And when we get it passed by yourselves, it then gives us a responsibility to ensure that we monitor in accordance with all your considerations, to ensure that we enforce efficiencies, cost effectiveness, economy, and. Because there's this triple E, economy, efficiency, and effectiveness. Indeed, the fact that this budget is being supported, it then forces us to then say we would ensure as Treasury that we implement what has been agreed to unanimously like this, and really play our role, but ensuring that the users, which are departments, play to their responsibilities and ensure that we achieve the goals for our government. The priorities will remain the way they are, and ours is to ensure that at the end of the day, we can account to the citizenry that we have done everything possible to do that. Without any waste of time, Honorable Speaker, Indeed, we want to confirm that the total adjustment has indeed grown from 825 by 825 from 83.1 billion to 83.9. And this was a very important thing to mention, that it is without any additions or additional equitable share from provided by National Treasury. So when we spoke of self-funding, we meant that we're able to have upward adjustment without having to rely on further provisions. And then, of course, these additions were sourced from our own revenue, rollovers, as they've been indicated, and especially this increased collection of revenue to the tune of 110. Therefore, in my closing short, I just have to thank this august House in all its entirety for the support that you have provided us and encouraged us as we try to make sure that Limpopo becomes a winner when it comes to public financial management, and that it be spent in accordance with all the facts and points raised by the honorable members. I thank you.
Yeah, ra leboga, Honorable Magwai, for your response, straight to the point. We'll now move to 7.2, motion of the suspension of Rule 173 of the standing rules. Can we look at the order paper, guys? Motion of the suspension of Rule 173 of the standing rules and orders of the House. Honorable Chief Whip. It's the same thing. I'm checking because
On a
it
point
means-
of order, Speaker, it seems you need to go for Christmas. It's holiday time.
No. No, it was done because they wrote it twice on my order paper. So if it was an error, it was a typing error from my table. Because now I'll request, we'll have to jump 7.2 to 7.3. Then 7.3 will request, no, we jumped 7.3. No. We're still 7.3. We request the MEC for Provincial Treasury to move the motion of the third reading of the Limpopo Adjustment Budget Appropriation Bill 2024. Honorable MEC.
Honorable Speaker, once more, now that the Adjustment Appropriation Bill 2024 B03 2024 has gone through all the relevant stages of the legislative process of this House, I now move that the bill be read for the third time in terms of the provision of House Rule 170. I move accordingly, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you so much. Can we get a seconder? Honorable Nkonyan, I can only see your hand.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I second the move as moved by the Honorable MEC. I thank you.
7.4, third reading of the Limpopo Adjustment Appropriation Bill 2024, B03, 2024. We shall now adopt the schedule by schedule of the bill. Those who agree will say yeah, and those who disagree should say yeah. And I will now request my table in front there to go through Schedule 1 definitions, Schedule 2, Schedule 3, and 4 short title. No, read according to the page. Read them first. Please read Schedule 1, 2, 3, and Schedule 4, which is the short title, we'll read it at the last, after voting.
Thanks, Honorable Speaker. Schedule 1 is definition. Schedule 2, appropriation of adjusted amount of money for requirements of province. Schedule 3, appropriation listed as specifically and exclusively appropriated. Schedule 4 is short title.
Thank you. Honorable members, shall we now adopt the vote of the bill? Those who agree, as I've already said, I'm going to go through vote by vote. Vote 1, Office of the Premier.
Yeah.
I don't see the left properly due to this screen. In case you have got it.
Yes.
Okay. Vote 2.
Yes.
Vote 3.
Yes.
Vote 4, Agriculture. Vote 5, Department of Provincial Treasury.
Yes.
Vote 6, Department of Economic Development, Environment and Tourism.
Yes.
Vote 7, Department of Health.
Yes.
Vote 8, Department of Transport and Community Safety.
Yes.
Vote 9, Department of Public Works, Roads and Infrastructure.
Yes.
Vote 10, Department of Sports, Arts and Culture.
Yes.
Vote 11, Department of Coxter.
Yes.
Vote 12, Department of Social Development.
Yes.
We shall now call upon the Secretary to read the short title.
Honorable Speaker, the short title it reads as follows. This act is the Limpopo Adjustment Appropriation Act 2024. I thank you.
Le past year budget ke petele matso. Thank you so much. Thank you. We now have our appropriation bill adopted. We'll now proceed to the orders of the day, 7.5. Consideration of the adoption of the following reports of the Portfolio Committee of Public Works, Roads and Infrastructure Committee Chair. I would suggest, Chair, that you come and present all the reports, both 7.5 and 7.6 at the same time.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Greetings to you, the honorable members of the legislature, inclusive of the executive. I, Nikitepe Kapchero, rise to table 2022-2023 annual report for the Department of Public Works, Road and Infrastructure for consideration and adoption. I therefore move, Madam Speaker.
Thank you so much. Any seconder? Honorable Limpopo.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. My name is Limpopo Tambeleni Colbert. I rise here to second the 2022-23 annual report, Department of Public Works, Roads and Infrastructure, as presented by Honorable John Nechpepe.
Thank you so much. 6.1.2 Committee Chair, 2023-24 third quarter report.
Madam Speaker, I rise once more.
On a point of order, Chair. Speaker.
Honorable Smal.
Yeah, just Chairperson, just earlier on the WIPS forum, we did agree that 7.5 will be dealt on its own, and 7.6 and 7.7 will be clustered together. So I just want to put that forward. Thank you, Honourable Speaker.
Chief Whip, I didn't realize you had three. Okay, no, it's fine. We can proceed to Committee Chair 7 point.
There's still a hand, Speaker. That's from the
7
Chief Whip.
7.5.2.
Chief Whip is still raising a hand.
Chief Whip.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. I just raised my hand to second what Honorable Smalo was saying, that 7.5 be dealt on its own and we combine 7.6 and 7.7. Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you. No, when the programming committee has decided, there are things that are difficult to change. Thank you so much. Over to you, Chair. We are on
Thank you.
7.5.2.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I rise to table 2022-2023 annual report, Road Agency, Limpopo, for consideration and adoption by this House. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. You will come back to deal with 7.6 and 7 at the same time. We are now having this separate debate. Thank you. Do we have a seconder on this, Honorable Mnisi?
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I, Gloria Zunisani Wakamnisi, I rise to second 2022-2023 annual report for Roads Agency Limpopo for consideration and adoption by the House. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. We will now refer to this. The Honorable Member opening the debate is Honorable Petole Pesima Chete. He is normally allowed to present where he is if it's by his choice.
No, thanks very much, Honorable Speaker. I thought the prescribed still stands even today, but we'll deal with that in the future.
It does. You're welcome.
No, thanks very much. Let me take this opportunity to greet the speakership, the WIPARI, members of the Limpopo Provincial Legislature, Honorable Premier in absentia, members of the Executive Council present here, ladies and gentlemen. The period that we are in now present a moment for all of us, men in particular, to stand back and reflect on our actions in pursuance of women emancipation and empowerment. The revolution cannot triumph without the emancipation of women. On Monday, 25th November 2024, Deputy President Paul Mashatile launched the 16 days of activism for no violence against women and children, under the theme 30 years of advancing collective action to end violence against women and children. This campaign will culminate in the International Human Rights Day on the 10th December. Other important days that we will observe during this campaign are the International Women Human Rights Defenders Day on the 29th November, World AIDS Day, 1st December, and the International Day for the Disabled, 3rd December. As you are aware, this August held a snap debate about this pandemic. I take this opportunity to commend all members of this House, especially men, for their united action to end this national crisis and defeat it. We thank you for the standing up and being counted among the defenders of women human rights. As the Deputy President indicated, we have been united in a shared vision to create a world free from violence and discrimination. This is not the time to lower our guard. We must intensify the struggle to defeat this scourge. And I must indicate that the struggle is nothing else but a normal condition for all living creatures in the world. Only through collective action can we succeed. We need collective action to rid our society and our women of all impediments to equality. Such impediment includes inadequate water, healthcare, roads, sanitation, joblessness, lack of education, electricity, and other basic needs. Access to these amenities will allow women and other vulnerable sectors of our society to lead lives of their own, away from the abusers that they often live with. The ANC 2024 election manifesto places women and other vulnerable groups at the center of development, noting that we must increase support for small enterprises, entrepreneurs, and cooperatives, especially in townships and villages, providing 1 million work opportunities with set aside for women, youth, and persons with disabilities, continue to promote and monitor employment equity to ensure that Black people, women, and people with disabilities are represented in the public and private sectors, and ensure that small businesses, cooperatives, and enterprises owned by women, young people, and persons with disabilities are included across all value chains through the setup aside in public and private sectors. Madam Speaker, the Department of Public Works, Roads and Infrastructure and Roads Agency Limpopo are in a good state to help us achieve these objectives. With 65% of its budget being allocated to road infrastructure, the department can do a lot to alleviate poverty and joblessness among our people. While we commend the department for achieving 97% of its allocated budget during the 2022-2023 financial year, we believe more could have been done to attain 100%. Related to this is the performance of the Road Agency Limpopo, which during the period under review spent 90% of its allocated budget. We are in the rain seasons, which is accompanied by extreme weather conditions because of the climate change. Most of our roads and bridges will be washed away by heavy rains. This will make most of this infrastructure unusable. The work that was completed to rehabilitate surface roads, conduct blacktop patchings, re-gravel roads and surface conditions, we call upon the department and the Roads Agency Limpopo to tap on the opportunities brought about by climate change and introduce new methods and technologies for road and infrastructure construction. We must transform the construction industry and start implementing climate-resilient road infrastructure planning and development. Through the Tiba Mikoti Litzileng project, 318,317 square meters of potholes were patched, and which is an area that we must be able to applaud the department. We note the concern by the Auditor General about lack of verifiable information on this and suggest that similar projects that may be initiated in the future must have clear means of verification to promote accountability and enhance oversight by relevant bodies. It is, however, worth mentioning that the department exceeded all its targets for road infrastructure during the period under review. A sore point has been the inability by the Road Agency Limpopo to complete its planned 40 kilometers gravel road upgrading. The agency only managed to complete 8 kilometers in this regard. Also concerning is the lack of clear means of verification for household contracts and failure by Road Agency Limpopo to create the much needed jobs and less spent on laborers than expected. The ANC's 2024 election manifesto make it clear that all public and private entities must create and sustain over 2.5 million jobs. No departments or entities immune from making this noble goal realizable. Madam Speaker, we welcome the efforts by the department to create approximately 6,500 jobs during the various roads infrastructure projects. Even in this regard, women were the majority beneficiaries, with more than 3,500 of them getting jobs of various kinds during the period. The expanded Public Works Program is government's flagship program, which is designed to alleviate poverty through creation of work opportunities for the unemployed using public sector expenditure. Commendably, the department managed to achieve over 75% of its planned targets for the program. This translates into 1,400 work opportunities as opposed to the 1,100 planned targets. The number of public bodies that reported on the program also increased. We call upon the non-state sector to deliberately optimize job creation for the unemployed and poor people through the delivery of public and community services. Taken into totality, the expanded Public Works Program created approximately 55,000 jobs in the entire province, with women constituting 69% of the beneficiaries. This is an affirmation of the ANC government to resolve to empower this important sector of our society through all means at the disposal of the democratic government. At a corporate level, we applaud the department for successfully filling over 90% of the 295 positions that were advertised during the 2022-2023 financial year. It is our firm belief that most of the incumbents in this position are women, and that even at SMS senior management level, gender equity is being achieved, as I said already. In the coming year, we'll step up efforts to ensure that the department, and by extension Road Agency Limpopo, achieve 100% expenditure in conditional grant utilization, that there is robust project oversight and management for earmarked funding, that irregular expenditure is reduced or eliminated, address internal control weaknesses, comply with financial regulation and supply chain management practices, and implement the consequence management, among others. The conditions of women and children is therefore at the heart of humanity itself, here, there, and everywhere. And that the struggle of women cannot be granted, it must be conquered. Thanks very much, Honorable Speaker.
Thanks very much, Honorable Machete. We'll now go to the next speaker, Honorable Marie Helm.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, our MECs, the Whippery members of this House, our honorable members, officials, and also the guests. During the financial year under review, the total budget of the department was 4.4 billion and 96.75 was spent. The result is an under expenditure of 144 million. Infrastructure Operations Program has spent 96% of its 22-23 budget, and the underspending was due to non-responsive bidders, administrative issues, and the re-advertisement of bids, along with some delays and poor contractor performance further impacted project completion timelines. The Roads Infrastructure Program has spent 97% of its 22-23 budget. The underspending was due to the programming facing non-implementation of 5 steel bridge projects and other issues. As far as the conditional grants are concerned, only 90% of the provincial road maintenance grant was spent. Both the Department and RAL were equally guilty of irregular expenditure. The department experienced irregular spending of 35 million, while irregular expenditure in RAL was a little bit more, and it was topped about 6 billion. Shelf plan projects from the Department of Health caused serious delays at hospitals. 6 laundry projects at hospitals, 1 clinic, and constructions of Modimolim EMS were halted. The total amount was 223 million, and this must be one of the biggest failures of this financial year. Regrettably, the Auditor General audit outcome of 22-23 was a regression from unqualified in the past 4 years to qualified. Again, mismanagement was stated. The AG found that irregular expenditure was not properly recorded. The primary cause of this irregular expenditure was the department's failure to comply with supply chain management requirements. Under the emphasis of matter, the AG raised 5 key issues, and I will quickly just run through them. Number 1 is the issue of ongoing litigation, which presents significant uncertainty for the department. This is really an issue that needs urgent attention, because it's not very fixed. It's not like building a road, and we have to assist so that we can find a way around this. And the litigation register will be the first step. In terms of the performance under Program 2 infrastructure operations, the department disposed of 9 properties, exceeding its annual target of 3. However, and this is the important point, the AG found no evidence to verify these property disposals, and that is concerning. Number 3, the department wrote off debts without adhering to the right of policy, as required by Treasury Regulation 1142. Regarding performance, the department reported exceeding its target for blacktop pothole patching, but no evidence was provided to the AG to verify this claim. So this is important that we must note when we do work, because our Department and RAL is doing work, but it's equally important that we must report it so that we can actually state that it is done, because we know it is done. AG raised concern about the absence of consequence management. In this year, the HOD was moved to the Department of Koksta, which caused mass instability in the department, but it was not all bad news. The department did achieve 105% in road rehabilitation and did exceptionally well in road resurfacing through RAL, so that is good. It is clear that in the financial year 22-23, in the 6th administrative cycle, was not very good for the department. The hope is that the 7th administration will learn from these obvious mistakes and improve on the mistakes. In conclusion, it is important to recognize that funding remains a significant barrier to meeting the province's extensive demand for tarred and well-maintained roads. May I remind the House that, for example, Mopani District Municipal budget is 2.5 billion, and now compare it to our department, then you can see the big discrepancy between these two. Also, other good news, kilometers of surfaces roads visually assessed. The target was to assess 3,000 kilos, but more than 6,000 were actually assessed. That is very good. Irregular expenditure seems to be the most important issue during 22-23 financial year, and we can only hope that the department and RAL will make a serious effort to stop irregular expenditure. With the determined assistance of the Portfolio Committee, both the department and RAL can improve, and we are really looking forward to a better outcome. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Honorable Marie. We will now go to the chair of the committee, Honorable Katune Chifefe, to close the debate. Honorable Katuchelo John Nechifefe.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for the opportunity, and greetings to the Chief Whip, honorable members of the legislature, our the MECs present, and our esteemed guests. Receive my sincere greetings on behalf of the members of the Portfolio Committee on Public Works, Road Infrastructure, as we consider and adopt the 2022-2023 annual report. Madam Speaker, all efforts to continue the delivery and realization of universal quality basic services such as education, housing, transportation, roads, water, sanitation, healthcare, and electricity to our people are predicated on the availability of a capable and a developmental public service. Such a public service must be professional, be firmly rooted in the principles of Vatupili, and not be aloof from the people that it is meant to serve. It must be a public service that possesses intellectual capacity and enhanced moral and ethical orientation to serve, to show exemplary conduct and uphold the core values and principles of selflessness, selfless public service, discipline and integrity. This is the public service that we seek to build and that we must have in our institutions. To have such a platoon of public servants requires that we strengthen our human resource functions such as organizational design, recruitment, training, performance, appraisal, and employee wellness. The road agency Limpopo is commended for exceeding its target of providing training to its employees. During the period under review, more than 213 employees were trained in various fields, more importantly, in the field of supply chain management. We all know that this area is responsible for many adverse audit findings that many institutions face. It is our hope that the training provided will assist in taking RAL out of the undesirable audit outcomes. Madam Speaker, the Department of Public Works, Road and Infrastructure has had to contend with many challenges as far as its human resource is concerned. Key among those were the high vacancy rate, which stood at 24.4% for the senior management service, as of 31st March 2023. Other challenges included inability to replace employees when they exit the system. By the end of the period under review, approximately 56% of employees had exited the system due to retirement, and their posts have not been filled. This situation paints a bleak future for the department regarding safe delivery. No entity can function with half of its employees on retirement. This is an opportunity to create more work opportunities for the youth. The requirement of experience for entry-level jobs in the public sector has been scrapped. There's therefore no excuse why we cannot contribute towards the goal of reducing the high number of youth people who are entering the labor market every year by filling these positions. Factors such as a high vacancy rate contribute adversely to the attainment of the department's goals and objectives. It is our hope that these matters are receiving attention from leadership of the department. We need a capable developmental and ethical public service that is capable of intervening on the side of the poor to attain sustainable development, to address unemployment, poverty, and underdevelopment, and to transform the economy to serve the interests of our people. The economy that we inherited, characterized by entrenched features of structural fragmentation and inequality, will be impossible to transform without the leadership and disparate intervention of an ethical, capable, and developmental public service. Honorable Speaker, the ANC in its 2024 election manifesto has identified infrastructure development and maintenance, procurement policies, skills development, and innovation as enablers for small enterprises and cooperatives in the townships and rural areas to thrive. It has therefore put measures in place to support them. Some of these include the set aside for designated groups and the payment of eligible invoices within 30 days. We are satisfied that both the department and RAL are doing well in this regard. For example, during the period under review, Road Agency Limpopo managed to pay all eligible invoices from contracted SMMCs within 30 days. RAL has contracted 351 SMMCs during the period under review. A total of 207 1,822,000 was paid to these SMMs during the period under review. During the same period, the Department of Public Works, Road and Infrastructure attained its target of paying its suppliers within 30 days period. We welcome these efforts. We are of the strong conviction that these measures will assist the sector to increase ownership and participation in the economy, thereby contributing to the national effort to create employment and put South Africa to work. The ANC has committed itself to accelerate land reform and redistribution for various purposes, including to promote urban and rural development and to enable greater access to housing. In this regard, we welcome the successes by the Department of Public Works, Road and Infrastructure to dispose of 9 properties following resolutions of the outstanding land claims during the period under review. We must therefore accelerate the process of releasing more land that is in state hands for development of housing and other basic amenities. Through this, we will eliminate special disparities and integrate our communities within the mainstream of the economy. Honorable Speaker, investment in roads and bridges is critical for economic development. The ANC advocates for public-private partnership to build technical planning and the project management capacity to maintain existing infrastructure and expand and roll out new ones. We commend the Road Agency Limpopo for its efforts to secure 242 million from private entities through the Premier's Economic Growth Advisory Council Technical Working Group towards road maintenance and upgrades. It is our hope that through other initiatives, such as the recent held Limpopo Province Investment Conference, we will secure more partnerships for the advancement and development of our province. Our province is endowed with natural resources. Creating an enabling environment in the form of road infrastructure will contribute to the growth of our economy and ultimately our people. Having said all the above, I therefore urge that this August House adopt the report as presented. I thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you so much, Chairperson Vukatune Chifefe. We were supposed to allow the MEC to respond now, but can I suggest that MEC, if you have taken note, allow the next debate so that you respond once. Do we agree, MEC? Thank you. We'll now proceed to item 7.6. Chair, you have to come back, unfortunately. Honorable Nechfefe. Then you will be dealing with 7.6 and 7.7 at the same time.
Madam Speaker, for the opportunity once more. I arise to table 2023-2024 second quarter report for the Department of Public Works, Road and Infrastructure for consideration and adoption by the House.
Thank you. Any seconder? Honorable Mdaka.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. I, Falazam Dagaraz, to second what was raised, the motion raised by Honorable Kwatunesh Fefe. I thank you.
Thank you so much. 7.6.2.
I arise to present 2023-2024 third quarter report of the Department of Public Works, Road and Infrastructure for consideration and adoption by the House.
Any seconder, Honorable Medley?
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. I, Honorable Medler, hereby second the 2023-2024 third quarter report for the Department of Public Works, Roads and Infrastructure for consideration and adoption. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Honorable Chair, 7.6.3.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I rise again to table 2023-2024 fourth quarter report of the Department of Public Works, Road and Infrastructure for consideration and adoption by the House.
Thank you. Any seconder? Honorable Mantata Masela.
Thank you, the Honorable the Speaker. I, Matlodi Caroline Mantata Mahasela, rise to second the report as presented by Honorable Netchweb. I thank you.
Thank you. 7.6.4.
I rise once more to present 2023-2024 second quarter report for Road Agency Limpopo for consideration and adoption. Thank you.
Any seconder, honorable members? Honorable Majomane.
Yeah, thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. I rise to second the presentation made by the chairperson. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. 7.6.5.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I rise once more to table 2023-2024 third quarter report for Roads Agency Limpopo for consideration, adoption, and adoption by this House.
Thank you very much. Any seconder? Honorable Shai.
Thanks very much, Speaker. I second the consideration and adoption of the 2023-2024 third quarter report for Roads Agency Limpopo. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Honorable Chair. 7.6.6.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I rise to table 2023-2024 fourth quarter report for Road Agency Limpopo for consideration and adoption by the August House.
Honorable Nkonyane.
Thanks very much, Honorable Speaker. I second the move as moved by the Honorable Chair. Thank you, Speaker.
Thank you so much. Because we are combining the two debates, we will not call the speakers list now. We will allow the chairperson to proceed with 7.7, consideration and adoption of the reports of the Portfolio Committee of Public Works, Roads and Infrastructure.
Thank you.
7.7.1.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for the opportunity once more. I rise to table 2023-2024 annual report of the Department of Public Works, Road and Infrastructure.
Any seconder? Honorable Pokane.
Thanks, Honorable Speaker. I second the consideration and adoption of the 2023-2024 annual report as of Department of Public Works and as presented by the chairperson. I thank you.
Thank you so much, Honorable Pokane. Chair, 7.2.3.
Thank you once more, Honorable Speaker. I rise to table 2023-2024 annual report for Road Agency Limpopo for consideration and adoption by this August House. Thank you.
Any seconder, honorable members? Honorable Rakhwali.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I, Nkakareng Rakhwali, stand to second the presentation is made by the chairperson. Thank you.
I've seen Honorable Mukwele very late. I apologize, ma, because of this camera. Normally, I don't, but on this, working the screen. Yeah, maybe we need to put it in a manner that I'm able to see all members. Honorable members, we are going to combine the debate for 7.6 and 7.7. So members are going to debate once. So we'll not call them to come back, and the MEC will debate once. So Honorable Maudu Johannes Pokane will open the debate, followed by Honorable Marie Helm. She was supposed to debate the two, is going to debate one. No, you can come in the meantime, yes. Then after that, Honorable Mahabu Chemsipur will follow. Then the chair will close the debate. In that order, Honorable Johannes Pokani is opening the debate.
Thanks, Honorable Speaker. Tlakele Tamisheng, Honorable Speaker. Kitamishi, the Chief Whip. Kitamishi, the MECs present here. Kitamishi, the Deputy Chair of Chess. Kitamishi, the members of the legislature, as well as ladies and gentlemen. This sitting of the Limpopo legislature takes place at a time when the world observed the 16 days of activism against gender-based violence, a campaign that aims to raise awareness and mobilize action to end all forms of violence against women and girls. The prevalence of this scourge in the country has led to the government led by President Ramaphosa to declare it as an epidemic. And indeed, it is an epidemic. Honorable Speaker, even yesterday, there was a media statement by the Executive Mayor of Sekhukhune District Municipality decrying the brutal killing of Muagabo Madisha, who was stabbed to death by a partner on the 26th November in the Ndwani area of Elias Mtswari local municipality. These kind of incidences have become a norm in our communities all over the province. Honorable Speaker, it's crucial that men should commit themselves to a life free of abuse to women and take up the cudgels in defense of the women in our society, and further commit to the eradication of all forms of gender-based violence and femicide against women and children. As we do this as men, we will also be implementing the NC 2024 manifesto, which enjoins us to stand up and fight against this phenomenon of gender-based violence as we defend democracy and advance freedom. There is no complete freedom if our women are not free from abuse, violence, and femicide. Honorable Speaker, infrastructure development and maintenance have serious economic and social benefits for our county and province. These services contribute to the improvement of the lives of our people. Road infrastructure development and maintenance help our people by increasing access to jobs, schools, stores, and other recreational activities that improve the quality of life of our people. By ensuring quality road infrastructure, we are one step closer to addressing the problem of accidents on our roads. A lack of adequate road infrastructure affects mobility for everyone, inclusive of medical staff, doctors, and patients seeking medical attention in remote rural areas. Honorable Speaker, we must leverage public works, roads, and infrastructure development and maintenance efforts to support micro, small, and medium enterprises development and create jobs. During the period under review, as part of the support, the Road Agency Limpopo paid over 73.4 million to over 170 small, medium enterprises and subcontractors that were appointed to different projects. It should be noted, Honorable Speaker, that despite this contribution by RAL, there was an under-expenditure on the same matter of SMMEs and labor in quarter four, which is a worrying factor for the portfolio committee. A sore point in this regard, sadly, is that there is no fair allocation of contracts to the companies registered on the panel of contractors of the road agency Limpopo. There are even instances where one contractor is allocated more than 2 or 3 projects. As the portfolio committee, we discourage such a practice as it is in stark contrast with the government's resolve to leverage and use our public procurement policies and systems to increase and spread ownership and participation by the black majority, inclusive of some designated groups in the economy. The other disturbing trend, Honorable Speaker, is the inability of clients' departments to pay eligible contractors within the prescribed 30-day period. This refers much to the Department of Health and Education. The inability to pay eligible contractors timeously is often a breeding ground as well as recipe for project delays and disruptions. Part of our efforts to bring an end to work stoppage at infrastructure projects should be to insist that we pay all our contractors within stipulated timeframes in terms of the PFMA. As the ANC, we also firmly advocate for fair, equitable, transparent, competitive, and cost-effective procurement of public goods and services. Honorable Speaker, we welcome the provision of training to more than 280 locally sourced workers. While the numbers are relatively low, they are in the right direction. They are a step in the right direction. We urge the Department and RAL to continue with efforts to align their training programs with community and TVET colleges. This will help in ensuring that the young people given those opportunities aren't only given raw work experience, but are also in a position to receive certificates of competence, which they could use to secure permanent jobs for themselves. Honorable Speaker, with the unemployment rate in Limpopo being at 31.4%, it behooves every government department or entity in the province to ensure that the task of creating jobs and contributing towards the attainment of the goal of creating and sustaining more than 2.5 million work opportunities as encapsulated in the manifesto of the ANC is realized. This can be achieved through the provision of public goods and services. It is encouraging that the Department of Public Works, Roads and Infrastructure, through RAL, as during the period under review, created over 1,100 job opportunities, benefiting 671 women, 509 youth, and 19 people living with disabilities. The department and its entity, Honorable Speaker, are strategically positioned to help the province to deal with the challenge of unemployment because of their labor-intensive maintenance and construction project. Such projects range from road construction, bridge construction, construction of buildings and maintenance to roads, road blading, road regraveling, resurfacing and upgrading. It is through this project and others that we can indeed put South Africa to work, as directed by the ANC's 2024 election manifesto. Putting South Africa to work means that we invest in infrastructure development and maintenance and create more business and job opportunities for the youth women, the disabled, as well as military veterans. It is of importance, Honorable Speaker, to indicate that in conclusion, RAL needs to ensure that they refine their planning to better match resources with expected outcomes. And of critical importance is that RAL should ensure that they do everything possible in their power to avoid overcommitments. I thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you very much, Honorable Pokane. I therefore take the opportunity and invite Honorable Helm.
Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Dr. Slan.
I don't know that I thought you'll wear that gown, pura pura, because we understand that today is a special day which we declare that you can wear whatsoever. But as for the speaker, I think it is advisable that you must have you wearing that particular gown. Probably it might be for the first time. Let's allow you to wear that gown.
I forgive you, Honorable Slani. If you were here yesterday, I think that point would have been avoided. Helm?
Sorry, acting what?
I'm not acting what. Honorable Mate, Honorable Ngobeni.
Oh,
what?
Yeah. Yes, Honorable Ngobeni, the acting speaker.
Can proceed.
Yes, I want to correct something. The decision of yesterday was for honorable members to temporarily suspend the decorum in terms of the dressing code. But the role of the speaker is guided by certain rules and laws. For you to preside without a gown there, it necessarily says this house has technical agenda. That is the implication. And I know you are not going to agree with me. But we must also begin to ask ourselves, if we have resolved that we wear casual and the speaker wears the casual and the gown, what is the meaning? But I know nobody is going to agree with me. Even the table there, the staff there would not agree with me. But legally, and if it means we are disagreeing, we can test this thing through the High Court. I'll get an advocate that will do pro bono. You have technically adjourned this house. So we're just simply asking to wear your casual and your gown as the speaker and reconvene the city. And we need written notices.
No, thank you very much, Honorable Mate. I know that you are just throwing me in the den just to prepare me for that responsibility in this chair. But I must refer you to Rule 7 in relation to the convention and practices. Can you allow me, Chair, Mate? In terms of the conventions and practices at the end of the function, we can appear as I do. And may you allow the House to proceed in perfect order. Can you then proceed? Honorable L.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Roads are indeed the arteries of the economy, and it is as vital for each citizen as oxygen is for each living cell. Infrastructure is the bones in our economic body. It is therefore of utmost importance that the department must make sure that we deliver quality services to enable investments, economic activity of citizens, and movement of people. We note the findings of the Portfolio Committee, the findings of the Auditor General, and we thank them for their valuable input. In order for the Portfolio Committee to do proper oversight, it is of the utmost importance that we have access to adequate information. For example, when can the DA and the committee receive the lists of the roads under the control of the department, RAL, SANRAL, and municipalities to prevent duplication of services and to avoid negative AG opinions as it will influence the different asset registers? Regular updates on the progress of projects is essential, not only for the committee to do oversight, but also for our department. Although the DA understands the massive pressure on RAL from communities that desperately need well-maintained roads, it is really important to use evidence-based information to prioritize roads and make decisions. If we look at areas where improvements are necessary, if we want to put enabling infrastructure in place to break the cycle of poverty and to create jobs, then the department must look at the following. Firstly, the AG mentioned proper record keeping. Honourable Speaker, proper record keeping is the absolute basis of every structure in any sphere of life, whether it's business or a department. Without sound record keeping, evidence-based decisions will stay a dream. If record keeping is weak, strategic planning and performance monitoring cannot be accurate. The question is, how can we manage a budget if there are no proper record of transactions? For example, the roads transferred from RAL to SANRAL. Was the change promulgated? Did SANRAL actually accept the roads? And what about the budget to maintain these roads? Or will these roads now fall through the cracks? What is the impact of the transfer on the budgets of both RAL and SANRAL? One of the worst preventable losses is when a budget is allocated to a project and when the completion date exceeded the original plan. The prices often change, upwardly that is, and less money is available for other projects. A perfect example is the 522 road that is suffering from stoppages for some time now, and now the contractor is removed. The question is how much more money will be thrown at this road before it is completed. Another money waster is the duplication of road designs. Before any road construction begins, a design plan is created to outline how the road will be developed, which is a very good thing. However, when a project is delayed and later resumed, the entity will often start by redoing the design, an unnecessary duplication of work that results in additional financial loss and material irregularity. Example of this is the R530 road from Micah to the R36. On the issues of procurement and contract management, the AG highlights a serious problem with the supply chain management of the entity. RAL has established a panel of service providers, and certain service providers receive a disproportionate share of work, leaving others unutilized. And the question is, can such a contractor actually deliver on all the different projects? This raises critical questions about the effectiveness of the service provider panel and calls on to question the rationale behind relying heavily on a limited number of providers, particularly when a vast network of potential service providers exists. The DA have repeatedly requested a list of these preferred service providers and the projects allocated to each, but it's standing. RAL has not improved its audit outcome for 8 years in a row, the main reasons being recurring irregular expenditure and inadequate internal control system. Currently, the total amount of irregular expenditure was at 8.2 billion by the end of the financial year 23-24. When RAL has successfully exceeded its target in infrastructure maintenance, job creation, community engagement, challenges such as cash flow management, community resistance to certain projects, and delays in securing private sector partnerships have hindered optimal performance. Honourable Speaker, just before I close, I would like to thank the MEC and also RAL for their kind assistance when we call on them. I think we are getting somewhere and I think we are making improvements. We have seen indeed many improvements made by RAL, and I wonder, with all these issues that is really impacting negatively on RAL, if RAL can improve, and it's not impossible, it is just good governance, I wonder what kind of wonderful and staggering difference RAL will make in Limpopo and in the lives of ordinary citizens. I thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Helm. Honorable members, you would recall that item 7.6 and 7.7 have been fused together. Honorable Mathe.
Chair, I raised a point earlier on and you referred us to rule number 7. And now I want to refer you to because interpretation of rules is something else. I want to refer you to the very same rule number 7, that you, conventions and practices, particularly chapter 3 or section 3, that says that presiding offices may request members' compliance with established conventions and practices. So an established practice in this chamber is that the speaker must wear a gown. That is an established practice.
Honorable Mathe, start from 1.
No. I'm referring you to this one. That speaks about established practice. One has nothing to do with established practices. But because I want to redeem myself, it's fine. Let's leave it there.
Let me allow the chief whip of the majority party, Honorable Esop.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Let us not play with English. The speaker wearing the gown is not a practice. It is a rule. Now we are talking about practices here. The House agreed that we will be informal today. Hence the speaker is informal. It's an agreed, it's an arrangement for today only. By law, the speaker must wear the gown. That's not a practice. That's not the practice. So therefore, the speaker, what Honorable Mathe is quoting is out of context. Because there's no one who has broken the rule where the speaker must come in here. We agreed that today we will be informal like we are. The speaker is informal. All of us are informal. It's a conversion that we have been doing here. The speaker wearing the gown is not a practice. It's a rule. Thank you very much. Can you continue, Speaker?
Thank you very much, Chief Whip of the majority party, for the decisive intervention. As I was indicating, honorable members, you would recall that already we have agreed that 7.6 and 7.7 have been fused. And to that extent, I want to proceed and invite Honorable Champ Sipuru to come and make his contribution.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. My full names are David Makabu, Champ Sipuru. I've got 3 names. And it must appear as such from today onwards. I no longer want to see Makabu Champ alone because I'm David, the King.
Your 2 minutes is gone.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I nearly said, Madam Speaker. Chief Whip and members of the Whippery, esteemed members of the Limpopo Provincial Legislature, Honorable Premier in absentia, members of the Executive Council present here today, ladies and gentlemen, the 2024 ANC election manifesto, the manifesto of the oldest liberation movement in Africa, implores us to ensure that the manifesto's commitments and priorities are integrated and translated into medium-term strategic framework, MTSF, and ensure that a budget to implement those priorities is provided for through the medium-term expenditure framework. This injunction is at the center of government planning cycle. It has always permeated all the past democratic administrations. During this 7th administration, the ANC has committed itself to move with speed and do better, do more and do it faster, to transform and improve the lives of our people, building on the accomplishment of the previous administration. The Portfolio Committee on Public Works, Roads, and Infrastructure has adopted a zero-tolerance approach to underspending on allocated funds. This is therefore no longer time for the department to underspend on its budget, citing delays in filling critical and vacant positions, and in procurement of goods, services, and capital assets. This was the situation that prevailed during the period under review, where the department spent 97% of its budget. Honorable Speaker, the shortcomings within the human resource management and supply chain management affected the provision of quality road infrastructure and the provision and management of provincial government land and buildings. This trend started in the previous financial year, where the department underspent its budget on the same two programs, namely infrastructure operations and road infrastructure. At that time, the department cited non-responsive bidders, and the re-advertisements of bids as a reason for the delay in infrastructure operations. Regarding road infrastructure, the main cause was cited as the non-implementation of 5 steel bridge projects and delays in fuel and road material delivery. There are always excuses for poor service delivery. This can no longer be allowed to continue unabated. It must be borne in mind that these programs receive the largest budget allocations of the departmental budget. They are therefore at the center of service delivery. This trend of underspending is not only affecting the department. Its agency, the road agency Limpopo RAL, also ended the financial year with an unspent, Honorable Speaker. This also affected RAL, which underspent the conditional allocation of a staggering 90 million rand. This occurred despite the escalating need for road maintenance due to aging infrastructure network. Honorable Speaker, similar to its mother department, the underspending in RAL started some years ago, the entity underspending its provincial road maintenance grant, totaling 166 million in 2021 and 22, and 90 million in 2022-23 financial years. It must be emphasized that this is a mockery for the department and its agencies to underspend their budget, while the people of Limpopo are day in and day out in the streets protesting about lack of proper road infrastructure and other related services. Underspent conditional grants arrived to National Treasury. Our province cannot afford this. It is disturbing that the Roads Agency Limpopo could not pay all eligible invoices from its suppliers, majority of whom are small, micro, and medium enterprises, run and owned by designated groups within 30 days, citing cash flow challenges. The Road Agency Limpopo is in many instances found wanting when it comes to the construction of new roads. During the period under review, Honorable Speaker, it could only complete 33 kilometers of the planned 55 kilometers of the road constructions. This happens while the department and its agency are returning monies to National Treasury due to poor spending, and this is unacceptable. We are of the firm view that some of the failures are because of lack of proper leadership in the department. The department has been without a permanent head of department since April 2023, following the placement of the department under professional assessment and secondment of the then HOD to a sister department, whilst the assessment unfolded. As things stand, the department is managed by an acting head of department. This situation may spiral out of hand if not attended to speedily. Honorable Speaker, allow me to quench my thirst. I was not aware that honorable members can share a member when he or she is taking water. As I've said, Honorable Speaker, this situation may spiral out of hand if not attended to speedily. We humbly request the department to impress upon the relevant authority. I must emphasize this. We humbly request the department to impress upon the relevant authority to fast-track the appointment of the HOD in this department. Honorable Speaker, the Department of Public Works, Roads and Infrastructure is at the center of the ANC's 2024 election manifesto, commitment to fix current constraints in transport and logistics that are critical to industrialization, growth, and development. It is at the coal phase of building maintenance capacity to implement and complete complex infrastructure projects. It is therefore critical that we move with speed to improve governance and leadership at the department to maintain and build new infrastructure. Honorable Speaker, the department is confronted with the challenge of hijacking of government-owned properties by unscrupulous individuals. In addition, government officials deliberately fail to pay rental on government-owned houses. Lack of maintenance of government-owned houses does not help the precarious situation that the department finds itself either, as occupants argue that they cannot pay for houses that they continue to maintain out of their own coffers. This is exacerbated by the policy that allows for the scrapping of areas every 2 years. Further, the department is paying rates and taxes on houses that are not occupied. The department must investigate this anomaly and adopt measures to address these challenges. Honorable Speaker, we spoke much on things that are not going well in the department. But there is the other side to the coin. While concerned about all the above, it does not mean that there were no milestones recorded by the agency and the department during the period under review. We note that the Roads Agency Limpopo managed to rehabilitate 1,250,000 square meters of surfaced roads and surpassed its target of resurfacing 1,229 and 2,115.5 square meters of surface roads. It also achieved its target of completing 3 bridges, small as this is. More than 60.57 million rand was spent on employment of local laborers for various roads construction and maintenance projects. In addition to this, 3,900 job opportunities were created for the youth, 1,850 for women, and 771 for persons living with disabilities. more than 600 SM.
Honorable Spur, can we request Honorable Mate and the people he's talking to go out so that they don't disrupt the sitting? You can proceed, Honorable Member.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Said more than 600 SMEs were contracted for various business opportunities during this period. The amount of 190.26 million was paid to these entities. More than 3,086 kilometers of surface roads were visually assessed. This was done to determine and clarify the actual ownership of each road, distinguishing between municipal, national, and provincial roads. We must welcome this endeavor. It will help to rectify misstatements in accounting for the provincial road asset network in the financial statements. The road agency Limpopo is highly commended for this achievement. Madam Speaker, this is just a tip of an iceberg. There are other good things that the department and the road agency Limpopo are doing that often go unnoticed. It is our task to unearth those and bring them to the fore and speak about them. This will help to boost and raise the staff morale and help us to regain the trust deficit that we have experienced in the not so distant past. I thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Raleboa Makgabo, David Chemsipuru. We will now request John Nechifefe to come and close the debate. As and when we debate, we must know that somebody has promised us a cake. So, yeah.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for the opportunity. The honorable members of the legislature, as well as the members of the executive council who are present, our chief whip and the whippery. Thank you very much. As we conclude the debate on the reports presented, the 2022-2023 annual reports and the quarterly reports, and eventually the 2023-2024 annual reports. I should indicate, Madam Speaker, that a lot has been said about the performance or the non-performance of the Department of Public Works, Road and Infrastructure and its entity, the Roads Agency, Limpopo. And I would like to thank you for your patience and the audience during this important and occasion to consider this, to consider these reports of the Public Works, Road and Infrastructure. We need to actually applaud the department and its entity in the way they were implementing their programs. The debate, as it was advanced, it makes an indication that really there's much work that is being done by the Department of Public Works, Road Infrastructure, and the RAL. That is why even from my left, from the opposition side, they are appreciating the good work. Although more work still needs to be done. Of course, we are aware of the lie peddlers, the doomsayers, and the prophet of doom among us who would like to point fingers and accuse public servants of poor service or poor leadership or incompetence and a culture of rampant corruption. So these are the people that are described in the ANC 2024 election manifesto as forces that seek to undo the progress of democracy. We, on our part, know that there are many men and women within our institutions who have transcended and embraced the call, save and gave it their all. We are humbled by all this and wish to take this opportunity to recognize and applaud our public servants for their modest and yet superhuman efforts. The challenges were enormous and the task daunting, yet they endured and persevered. They are shining beacons of our firmament, and we look up to them for inspiration. These are the kind of public servants whose dedication, strength, and resilience continue to provide hope to our people who yearn for an improvement in the quality of their lives. The task of creating work opportunities for our people through the public and private sector interventions, of increasing support for small, medium, and micro enterprises and the cooperatives, of promoting employment equity to ensure representation of women and people with disabilities in all echelons of power in both the private and the public sector, of fixing transport and logistics, of accelerating land reform and distribution to promote rural and urban development and enable greater access to housing cannot be achieved without the commitment of these public servants that are imbued with the spirit of servant leadership, are professional, ethical, and developmental. Madam Speaker, it is because of the efforts of our employees in both the Department of Public Roads and Infrastructure as well as RAL that we managed to install 566 prepaid meters on rental properties, purchased an office building in Polokwane and saved rental costs, paid rates and taxes totaling 150 million, and purchased 25 graders, 1 executor, and 17 light-duty vehicles. Regarding road capital project, the department managed to complete the designs of an interchange on the R71 to alleviate traffic congestion. Concerning the infrastructure operation, 17 projects for the Department of Education and 4 projects for the Department of Health were successfully delivered. Over 8,000 work opportunities were created in the process by the department during the period under review, mainly through building maintenance and the National Youth Service Artisan Development Program. The department managed to contract 7 bridges through its agency, RAL, more work opportunities totaling 13,000, which include youth, 14,000 women, and 197 people living with disability were created through the various infrastructure projects that the department and its agency implemented. Similar achievements were recorded in revenue collection with the department exceeding its target and collecting over 151 million against the planned 39 million rand. This was due to a successful auction of obsolete goods. About payment of eligible invoices, both the department and Public Work Road Infrastructure and the road agency managed to pay all eligible invoices within the prescribed 30 days. And this need to be appreciated, and it should be, it should be a culture consistently so, because it's in compliance with the policy. Madam Speaker, there were other notable achievements in other areas that constitute the core of the department, such as rehabilitation, blacktop pitching, regraveling, and resurfacing of roads. The department also exceeded its planned target in these areas. In the coming year, we will conduct joint oversight visit with the Portfolio Committee of Education and the Health to inspect all the projects that have been successfully delivered. We welcome the transfer of 10 hectares of land from the Department of Agriculture, Land Reform and Rural Development towards the relocation of the Skukune district offices. Madam Speaker, the road agency Limpopo also recorded several achievements during the period under review. Notable among these was the agency's successful conclusion of agreements with strategic partners that saw RAL securing over 144 million towards road construction and maintenance. Additionally, the agency managed to rehabilitate 1,256,119 square meters of surfaced road, surfaced 1,229,214 square meter of surfaced roads, regraveled 132 kilometers of gravel roads, and bladed 50,000 kilometers of gravel road. About support to SMMCs, 190 million to spend on SMMC contractors, and 3,959 job opportunities were created for youth, women, and the people living with disability. Here, Madam Speaker, I should indicate that in terms of all the reports, the 2022 and 2023 annual report and 2023-2024 annual reports, inclusive of all the quarterly reports. The similarity is that they all talk to the most critical issues of job creation, and which include targeting the youth, women, and people living with disability through infrastructure projects. This narration of achievement by the Department of RAL does not negate prevalence of acts of substandard service delivery. In the coming months and years, we would step up our oversight as the Portfolio Committee and ensure that Department of Public Roads, Public Works, Road Infrastructure, as well as RAL, address the issues of vacancy rate and gender equity across all levels of management, particularly at senior management levels. This is the very critical matter that in all our successive meeting with the department, I'm happy the HO this year, the acting HO this year, we have raised this matter regarding the high rate of vacancy and positions at a senior management level, that there should be disparity, because the issue of gender equity is a policy matter. It's a policy compliant matter. So this needs to be attended to, and then we agreed with the department that it will be a work in progress. They'll continue to brief us in terms of how far they have gone to address this matter, this anomaly. Madam Speaker, as I indicated earlier, all the achievements that Department of Public Works and Public Works, Road and Infrastructure and RAL attained during the period under review were made possible by our employees, many of whom continue to hold on to the belief and conviction that public service is a calling which requires people of stoical discipline and an unwavering commitment to serve our people. These are the people who persevere through adversity and carry themselves admirably and with dignity. They are the true agents of development state that we seek to build and and strengthen. We depend on them to help the Department and RAL to turn the tide and contribute meaningfully to the attainment of 6 developmental priorities as pronounced in the ANC 2024 election manifesto. As I conclude, Madam Speaker, during the debate, there is this critical matter that was was actually raised during the debate, because in as much as we are appreciating the good work that the department and RAD are doing, but the challenge that we have is the position at the high echelon of the department, the position of the HOD, which is still acting. So we have been briefed that the recruitment process is underway to fast track the process of filling this critical position. So we hope that very soon we'll have a permanent HOD in the department. One matter, as I conclude, Madam Speaker, that we should actually appreciate is the zero tolerance approach that has been taken by the department and RAL on underspending. That underspending, it actually undermines all our effort to fast track service delivery. Our people need services, and if we are underspending, more especially on conditional grants, this means there will be more money that is being returned to the national fiscals, which were meant to address all the issues of service delivery in the province. We should actually appreciate the manner in which the department at RAL is, executing their responsibility. Lastly, the issue which is also very critical is the non-payment of contractors, as raised by other members of the portfolio committee and the subcontractors. Project delays, and which may cause the non-payments and of contractors and subcontractors may cause project delays and a disruption. So that is the matter that need to be followed up and attended to. So, as I have alluded, Madam Speaker, I thank you very much for this opportunity that you have afforded to me. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Chair of I understand the debate had to delay a bit because we combined the two debates into one. Shall now call upon the Honorable, the MEC for Public Works, Ntate Sebataolo Ernest Rachweni, MEC Wadi Khere, to respond to the debate made by honorable members. So, dilo di change, MEC.
No, ke a leboga. Ke thome ka go tamisha lena, mosepediši wa modiri. The Honorable Speaker, Madam Speaker, Makurupeche, the Honorable Chief Whip, the Honorable MECs that are present here, and all honorable members of this August House. Ke re kgotso le kae na? Re gona. Maybe let me start by responding to my chair of Portfolio Committee, in particular on the issue of the HOD, that next week, Friday, the 13th of December, we will be having those interviews. And we promise that the other week will make sure that, the other following week will make sure that we then appoint the new HOD for the department. I can also here assure you that they were seriously dealing with the issue of unemployment. This Monday, we will be welcoming the new cohort of people who we have appointed permanently in the department. Those that will be start working on the 1st of December. So we're taking the issue of unemployment very serious, as is one of the priorities of the 7th administrations. And Madam Speaker, I'm proud to also say to this August House that we managed to hire those new cohort in a period of less than two months. Since we have advertised those posts, I then, as the MEC, take a decision that every Friday, 6 o'clock, we'll be meeting just to take stock about how colleagues are working, the issues of interviews and shortlistings. This week will be the 12th, if I'm not mistaken, that we're meeting at 6 o'clock. That is why we managed to hire 200, close to 200 people in 2 months. So it's possible. I stand before this esteemed House today to respond to the Portfolio Committee's consideration and adoption of the annual report for the 2022, 2023 and 2023-2024 financial years for both RAL and the department respectively, specifically as it pertains to the Department of Public Works, Roads and Infrastructure. Firstly, I would like to express my appreciation to the Portfolio Committee for their diligent oversight, as well as the thorough examination and constructive feedback on our department's performance. The role of the committee is crucial in ensuring transparency, accountability, and effective governance, and we recognize the responsibility placed on us as we continue to serve the people of our province. The annual reports for both the financial years provided a comprehensive overview of the department and its entity road agency Limpopo's activities, challenges, and achievements. It highlights the substantial progress we have made despite the many challenges we face, including fiscal constraints, delayed project timelines, and other external factors. I will address some of key aspects highlighted by the committee and provide further clarity on our response on their observations. On financial management and budget performance, we are pleased to report that our department has worked hard to ensure that the allocated budget is spent efficiently and effectively. While we acknowledge the concerns raised regarding the underspending in certain programs and the overcommitment at the entity, particularly in capital projects, the main reasons for underspending is largely due to the delays in procurement processes and unforeseen project scope changes, rather than inefficient in budget management. The department is working tirelessly to improve the audit outcome. Strides have been made in addressing both the AGSA and internal audit findings. We are also attending to the high irregular expenditure at the road agency Limpopo, which is now sitting at above 9 billion. We are working very closely with the RAL to institutionalize the procurement process at the entity. In correcting this going forward, management of the Department and Road Agency Limpopo have been instructed to redouble their efforts in ensuring planning towards the new infrastructure projects that must be done way before the new financial year. Honorable Speaker, if infrastructure projects are planned on time and in line with the infrastructure delivery management system, procurement will also be done on time before the new financial year. This will ensure that projects are implemented on time, and in the financial year, the budget has been allocated. A directive has been made to management to ensure the procurement for infrastructure and goods and services is done before we go on recess in this current financial year. Therefore, as we move forward, we are committed to improve our internal systems, ensuring faster procurement processes and minimizing delays in projects implementation. I'm confident that the corrective measures we have put in place will result in better budget utilization in the coming financial year. On infrastructure development and maintenance, our department has made significant strides in ensuring the delivery of quality public infrastructure, including roads, schools, hospitals, and government buildings. We also understand the importance of maintaining and expanding our infrastructure, especially as it directly impacts economic growth and well-being of our citizens. However, we also acknowledge that there have been delays in some major projects due in parts to challenges related to contractor performance and the impact of global supply chain disruptions. It is now common knowledge that we had to put the radar on RAL to reshape it and ensure that it goes back to its former glory. We have already taken decisive actions to resolve the issues at RAL by ensuring that we appoint accounting authority to act on behalf of the board of directors and the acting CEO as a way of putting corrective measures. It is work in progress. Another important issue raised by the committee pertains to the ongoing maintenance backlogs for both roads and other built infrastructure. The reality is that a growing infrastructure deficit, compounded by limited resources, continues to place pressure on our ability to meet all maintenance needs. However, I want to assure this House that addressing these backlogs remains a priority of our department. Honorable Speaker, the department will be finalizing the infrastructure maintenance strategy before the end of December 2024. The main aim of this strategy is to ensure that government buildings are maintained and well looked after, and there is a budget allocated towards that. Honorable Speaker, the partnership with local municipalities, we are working to better prioritize and allocate resources to address critical maintenance needs of our immovable assets that include rental houses, as well as budgeting enough towards rates and taxes. Furthermore, we are exploring alternative funding mechanisms, including public-private partnerships with mines, farmers' organizations, and other strategic partners to ensure that we can tackle the backlog more efficiently. On capacity building and transformation, we have taken a decision to launch the Dikgerekgere Wednesday Service Delivery Initiative to in the meantime, make our 13 kilometers of gravel roads drivable. The Dikgerekgere Wednesday program is continuing to change the shape of our economy and better the lives of our people. In this regard, we are showcasing the over 500 yellow fleet and the internal capacity of our department in responding directly to the clarion call of the president when he said we must continue to build the capacity of the state. The department will also unveil 15 new graders in 2 weeks' time and further strengthen and accelerate service delivery delivery to our people. In order to sustain this, we are further appointing new staff members. And on Monday, as I said, we are going to welcome about 200 newly appointed cohort of employees appointed on permanent basis. Manana Speaker, mintero ya vola vola. One of the key recommendations from the Portfolio Committee has been the need to improve capacity and skills development within the department. This is an issue we take very seriously. We recognize that the success of our projects is directly tied to the skills and expertise of our workforce. Honorable members, as we consider and adopt the recommendations of the Portfolio Committee on the annual report for the 2022-2023 and 2023-2024 financial years respectively, I want to reiterate our commitment to improving the delivery of public works, roads, and infrastructure in the province. We have made significant progress, but we also acknowledge that there are areas where we must do better. We will continue to engage with all stakeholders, including this House, to ensure that we deliver our mandate efficiently and effectively. In closing, I once again thank the Portfolio Committee as chaired by the Honorable Katu Nechifefe for the valuable insights and look forward to working together to address the challenges ahead. Let us continue to serve the people of this province with dedication and integrity. And we also welcome the appreciations from our colleagues on our left. Although you can't praise fish for sumi, but we are humbly and appreciate your accolades. Thanks very much. Ke a leboga.
Vare mentiro ya vulavula e khensile tatani Rachweni iswitwile leswi va nga swi vulavula e khensile. We now proceed to snap debate. We'll know that the 1st of December is the World AIDS Day, where we commemorate, remember those who passed on through this pandemic, but still continue to campaign and remind all of us about the importance of prevention and make sure that we live long, even when we might be affected, infected or affected, or even some of the family members and colleagues that might be affected. On that note, we are moving to the snap debate that all members will be giving message to the community of Limpopo on why we should commemorate the World AIDS Day. And we'll start by going directly to the speakers list, where Honorable Member Me Dikeledi Metle Ramotlola will be opening the debate.
Are very important. Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, Makoma Grace Makurupeja, the members of Executive Council present here, the Chief Whip and all Wipari, the Deputy Chair of Chairs, Chairpersons of Portfolio Committees, in particular, the Chairperson of the Quality of Life, and all honorable members in this august House. Greetings to the House at large and all members of the Limpopo Legislature. Madam Speaker, as we approach World AIDS Day, we need to remind one another about the fight against the HIV and AIDS. And this fight is not just a fight for persons living with AIDS, but it is also a collective fight as a society. World AIDS Day is the day that calls for action against the stigmatization of people living with HIV and AIDS. And on World AIDS Day, it is the day where we stand together in solidarity with people who are living with HIV and AIDS, and to those succumbed to AIDS. And one thing for sure, Madam Speaker, is that in South Africa or globally, if you are not affected, you are definitely infected. The 2024 World AIDS Day theme in South Africa is equal rights, equal access to quality care for all. And this theme means emphasizing the importance of ensuring that everyone, regardless of their HIV status, has equal rights to human rights and healthcare rights. And the global theme is Take the Right Path, which entails that take the right path by knowing your status, using protection to protect yourselves and others. Madam Speaker, I would like to emphasize that people living with HIV and AIDS can live healthy and normal lives. They can also become undetectable, making it impossible to transmit the virus to their sexual partners by taking their medication consistently and living a healthy lifestyle. HIV positive patients can be undetectable, and this means that they are unable to transmit HIV and AIDS to their sexual partners. Madam Speaker, honorable members, however, it is very crucial to practice safe sex, regardless of one's HIV status. As being undetectable does not mean or prevent the transmission of other STI, which is the sexual transmitted infection or unwanted pregnancies. As the Standing Committee of Quality of Life, we advocate for educating family members on HIV and AIDS. It is also essential, Madam Speaker, to dispel the stigma surrounding the disease and emphasize that people living with HIV and AIDS can live a normal life and healthy life, just as people who are negative, HIV negative. We also need to address the issues of traditional healers and prophets who advise HIV patients, positive patients, to stop taking their medication. But we should also acknowledge that the fact that we are Africans. We believe in different religions, but at the same time, we would like to make an appeal to our counterparts to join hands in fighting this pandemic. HIV and AIDS still has no cure, but it is manageable. And this is very devastating and has profound consequences. South Africa has the largest population in children living with HIV globally and otherwise. And the treatment coverage for the children is alarmingly low. We must strengthen our health services to make quality healthcare affordable. In his remarks about Nkosi Johnson, the former President Nelson Mandela said, as I quote, "The deterioration in Nkosi Johnson's health over the past few months has been a source of great concern to us. And it is an immense human tragedy that AIDS is so cruel, ravaging the lives of people, and particularly to those of the children, I close quote. And as highlighted by Madiba, children such as Nkosi Johnson has been deprived a moment to continue enjoying a life filled with joy, laughter, and happiness. Regrettably, the reality is that AIDS severely threatens all that which is beautiful about children and humanity in general. An unfrightening scale of HIV and AIDS is replacing the joy, laughter, and happiness with paralyzing pain and trauma. Madam Speaker, the African National Congress in its election manifesto vowed to strengthen health services, to make quality healthcare affordable and accessible to all. And in response to the manifesto, the Department of Health has embarked on several campaigns such as Know Your Status, which seeks to encourage to get tested and to know their status. Honorable Speaker, we also need to make sure that HIV/AIDS pregnant women are also encouraged to visit clinics early in order to prevent mother-to-child transmission. For those who may not be aware, HIV/AIDS positive mothers can still give birth to HIV-negative child. Furthermore, there are proven measures that pre-exposure prophylaxis, known as PrEP, and post-exposure prophylaxis, known as PEP, that can help prevent HIV transmission. Madam Speaker, in one of the research reports that Human Science Research Council has revealed that in 2022, Limpopo had one of the low HIV prevalence rates in the country at 8.9%, down from 10 to 1% in 2027. And this translates to the estimation of 570,000 of people living with HIV in Limpopo. That is a very, very great improvement. Madam Speaker, as I perorate, it will be suicidal if we cannot overemphasize and condemn the GBVF calamity that is continue happening in the country. Hence, we want to support the ANC Women's League and all its progressive forces in the country who marched to Union Building today, this morning, the 29th of November 24, for advancing decisive action towards full liberation and women emancipation. We are saying, working together, we can achieve more. I thank you so very much, Madam Speaker. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, Honorable Member. I am not seeing Honorable Andrimos. Is he here? Okay. If he's not here, we'll move on because Honorable Wilson as well is not here. Will allow. You are here. Okay. Sorry, ma'am. We replaced you when we didn't see you. Now that you are here, let us give you an opportunity to come and debate on the SNAP debate. You know, there is something that surprises me. That Honorable Wilson was using a stick. Honorable Mate was using a stick. I'm not sure whether this debate, is it about the stick or not?
Speaker, maybe you should take out the stick.
Somebody's stick, so I'm not sure. Honorable Wilson,
Speaker, on a point of order, maybe you should take out the stick sometime.
Honorable Speaker, on a point of order.
On a point of order, Honorable Mate.
We want to take this opportunity to assure Honorable Wilson that today there is no manga business. We have accepted the apology, and we are living in peace now.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate because I really wanted to bring MEC of Health into the picture that he must give us 2 professional sticks. Over to you, Honorable Wilson.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, and thank you to the Honorable Marshal.
Honorable Speaker,
You see,
Honorable Speaker,
Dr.
Honorable Speaker,
Dr. Salani.
Thank you very much. Before Honorable Wilson can speak, is she prepared to take question?
Honorable Wilson. And unfortunately, I'm no longer sure because Dr. Slani doesn't have a stick, unfortunately. Honorable Wilson, are you ready to take a question?
Speaker, but the honourable member is welcome to question me after the sitting.
No, I wanted, that was, Honorable Speaker, I wanted to ask her if she has tested, because this is an important debate which is going to be engaged on. So, but maybe after, I agree with her, maybe after I will then ask her. But I thought that will respond before you continue. In any way, after here I will engage you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker.
Yeah, thank you so much, Doctor. You can proceed, Honorable Wilson.
And yes, I have been tested several times. I have to test every time I take insurance. I have tested after I've assisted injured people on the side of the road in a car accident. I have tested several times.
Order, Honorable Speaker. Order.
I take the order of Dr. Slani.
Honorable Speaker, I want to raise a point of order. Because the agreement and understanding of the House is that Honorable Wilson will engage with me outside the sitting. Because a question was asked whether she will accept to answer, and she said no. But now she's responding, and I don't understand what is the meaning of that. Can Honorable Wilson agree that we are going to engage outside? There is no need to respond or to clarify the House, because she has made commitment that she will not respond here. She's going to respond outside. Thank you very much.
I'm tempted to agree with Honorable Dr. Selani that Honorable Wilson was out of order to respond. Can you focus on your speech, ma'am? Over to you.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. As South Africa commemorates World AIDS Day, let us remember that HIV is a societal problem that we will not defeat unless we take a holistic approach on a societal level and provide equitable, adequate health care to everyone in every corner of Limpopo, regardless of their gender, race, sexuality, and economic status. While Limpopo Department of Health has had many challenges delivering acceptable healthcare standards to our people in the province, they must be commended for their commitment to the 1990 strategy and their efforts, Speaker. Unfortunately, in the 2023-24 financial year, Limpopo failed to meet its annual targets with regards to the comprehensive HIV/AIDS conditional grant. The department only achieved 30,648 new patients starting on antiretroviral therapy out of the targeted 40,500. And unfortunately, only 449,351 patients on antiretroviral therapy remain in care out of the target of 480,000 million clients. So the department, unfortunately, has failed to meet those targets, but we do understand too that we cannot hold a gun to the head of an HIV patient and force him to take, him or her, to take antiretroviral medicines. The department needs, however, to enhance efforts to reach more people in this province and reach its targets with regards to antiretroviral treatment. Having patients on antiretroviral therapy GP remaining care and increase the number of people testing for HIV. Increasing the distribution of male condoms and female condoms and encouraging male medical circumcision needs to be prioritized, and innovative ways to reach targets must be pursued in order to curb the spread of HIV and AIDS. As the DA, let us be clear, everyone deserves access to HIV testing, treatment, and care. The department should be at the forefront of addressing the stigma and discrimination around AIDS. But we as this House all have a part to play, as well as to ensure that this is addressed and universal HIV healthcare is achievable. Reaching and prioritizing certain important, marginalized, and vulnerable population groups is key in our fight against AIDS. For example, people who use drugs, sex workers, and people in prisons who are at risk or may be affected by HIV and AIDS, to ensure that they may also receive all the healthcare services available. Speaker, as a province, we must remain steadfast in our efforts to prevent the spread of HIV, ensuring access to life-saving antiretroviral treatment and achieving HIV viral suppression in order to protect all of our communities. As we commemorate World AIDS Day, we must encourage equitable access to HIV prevention, treatment, and care services. Furthermore, we must encourage our citizens to get screened and tested for HIV and TB. Always use a condom, avoid risky sexual behavior, and maintain a healthy lifestyle. In the event of an HIV diagnosis, we encourage people, please, to start treatment immediately and stay on your ARV treatment. We need to be united as a province to achieve this. But Limpopo Department of Health must be at this the coalface of this fight against AIDS. Together we can do more. Thank you, Speaker.
I like this peace between Honorable Wilson and Honorable Matt. Thank you so much. The peace, I love it so much. We'll now call Honorable Chair of the Standing Committee of Quality of Life, who's going to close the debate, Honorable Mahlodi Caroline Mantata Mahasela.
Thank you, the Honorable the Speaker. Honorable Speaker, Member Koma Makrupeji, Honorable Chief Whip of the Majority Party, Honorable MECs and Deputy Chair of Chairs, Honorable Members of the Provincial Legislature, officials and guests, let me greet you, or let me say I greet you. The Honorable the Speaker, let me start by emphasizing this. AIDS or HIV and AIDS is not a killer disease. As long as you keep on drinking your medication, then you're going to live longer. The culprit, which is a killer disease, it's sugar diabetes and yes, those are very much dangerous because they kill you slowly. But on this one, I think if you keep on drinking your medication, you are going to survive. So don't be threatened by that. I was happy because Honorable Sbu was showing me his results now. It shows that he keeps on going to do his tests, and his results are non-reactive. It's negative, and that is very much encouraging. it shows that as a person, we need, or as people, we need to go on testing every time. Honorable Madam Speaker, World AIDS Day is marked every year on the 1st of December to remind us that we cannot become complacent about HIV. HIV continues to be a major global public health issue, having claimed millions of lives across the globe. However, with increasing access to effective HIV prevention, diagnosis, treatment, and care, including for opportunistic infections, HIV infection has become a manageable chronic health condition, enabling people living with HIV to live long and healthy lives. That's what I was emphasizing. The Human Sciences Research Council released the key findings of the 6th South African HIV prevalence, incidence and behavior survey for Limpopo province on Tuesday, the 27th of August, 2024, at a provincial dialogue held at Mirupa Hotel in Polokwane. The survey found that Limpopo had one of the lowest HIV prevalence levels among all provinces in 2022 at 8.9%, down from 10.1% in 2017. This translates to an estimated 570,000 people living with HIV in Limpopo, a 2.0% decrease from the 580,000 reported in 2017. While significant progress has been made in the battle against HIV in Limpopo, the number of new HIV infections in Limpopo are expanding among young people, in particular among the key population. The Honorable Speaker, as the global goal of ending AIDS as a public health threat by 2030 nears, we'll still have much to do. In 2023, nearly 40 million people were living with HIV around the world, which is 630,000 people with HIV died, and 1.3 million people became newly infected. Since the beginning of the epidemic, an estimated 88 million people have become infected. People may be unaware of their risk and lack the knowledge of how to protect themselves and where to seek testing and treatment for HIV and other sexually transmitted infections. They may experience stigma and discrimination, which stops from the accessing the services they need to stay healthy and uninfected. Former President Nelson Mandela said, I quote, "Many people suffering from AIDS and not killed by the disease itself are killed by the stigma surrounding everybody who has HIV and AIDS," closed quote. South Africa has been relentless in its mission to turn the HIV, AIDS, and TB epidemics around, and there are notable achievements to celebrate. A review of our efforts in addressing the HIV and AIDS epidemic over the past 23 years paints a mixed picture. There have been many scientific advances in HIV treatment, and we now have a much better understanding of the virus, and more people are receiving antiretroviral treatment, which means HIV infection rates are decreasing. Honorable Speaker, there's also a scientific optimism around the benefits of treatment as prevention and progress towards a cure and vaccine. However, Madam Speaker, despite these advances, stigma and discrimination still persist for many people living with or affected by HIV. Honorable Speaker, World AIDS Day 2024 is an opportunity for all South Africans to remind themselves that HIV is still a reality and that it is incumbent on all of us to continue fighting prejudice, stigma, and discrimination. Okay, let me explain about this word discrimination. Stigma and discrimination can be as devastating as the illness itself and may mean abandonment by a partner or family, social exclusion, job and property loss, school expulsion, denial of medical services, lack of care and support, and violence for those affected by them. These consequences or fear of them mean that people are less likely to come in for HIV testing, disclose their HIV status to others, adopt HIV preventive behavior, or access treatment, care, and support. Every sexually active South African is at risk of contracting HIV. We call on all South Africans to recognize that HIV and AIDS are chronic diseases and that people living with those diseases can have full and happy lives. We each have a responsibility to treat those who are struggling with an HIV positive diagnosis with compassion, those struggling with AIDS with care, and ourselves and our sexual partners with respect. Addressing stigma and discrimination is important and mitigating the impact of HIV. In closing, or in close-up, Honorable Speaker, South Africa has moved tantalizingly close to the 2025 treatment targets, but it still has a long way to go to achieve the 2030 SDG goal for AIDS. It has 6 years to achieve the SDG goal of ending AIDS as a public health threat. It will need a concerted effort to reduce new infections in young women and to prepare for the rollout of long-acting HIV prevention therapies alongside a well-functioning AIDS treatment program to set the country on the path to achieving the 2030 goals. In this note, Honorable Speaker, let me say I would like to urge every one of you to take care of yourselves during these festive seasons. I thank you, Honorable Speaker. Thank you very much.
Re a leboga, ro leboga ndi zwone bo Mme Caroline for closing this debate. This debate just came in when we are going to item 9. It really relates with the debate that is coming on item 9. Honorable members will remember that we came in very hectic in June. We did everything under pressure. Members were even angry with us, but we needed to push certain things in terms of the legislation and the constitution, our own rules. But now we realize it has been hectic. We need to give honorable members to go back to their own constituencies and do the political work and consult constituencies, executive to focus on the work that they are responsible to do, executive members. So we're not going home not to do anything. We're going home back to our own constituencies, back to portfolio committees, back to do other work other than sitting of the legislature, so that by the time the legislature opens next year, the reports will be ready for presentation. Remember, you process the work, we come back to sit and process the work that has been processed. So we are not necessarily closing to go home and not do anything. So I'm just saying, people might think, or phone, I will call you. And the portfolio committee meetings must correct, and as well other work must be processed as is expected. On that note, because it has been hectic, you are now going to do other things other than coming to the legislature. We want you, and through you are the leaders of political parties, just to say the parting shots of the year and to say what messages do you give to us. And I will go directly to the speakers list. We'll start by Andre Moss, unfortunately, is not here, which is the, so we didn't have MK, that's why they were not there on the list. They would have been part of the list if they were available, the MK party. The Freedom Front Plus as well is not here. Will now allow Honorable Kobo Didins Maila, Reto Laelana or Lering, Malaicha Walena Wangwaga, Homaloko Alena Les Chavas Limpopo. Honorable Maila.
Ke a leboga Honorable Speaker mme Makhulupeja, ke a leboga le maloko ka moka a Limpopo legislature, ke leboga le members of executive committee, ke le lebogile le maloko a baetapele ba di opposition le ge ba bang ba bona ba se mo. Ke lebogile ka kudukuru tše ke di kwelego go tloga mola re thomilego ka June go fihla le gona bjale, ka ge sa le mathomo re be re tsena ka mo lekgotla theramelao, re ithutile tše ntšhi ka lena, ebile re sa tlo ithuta tše dingwe gape tšeo re sa di tsebego. Re lebogile ka kudukuru tše tšohle tše di boletšwego ebile di dirilwego ka gare ga Limpopo. Ebile ke re tla re khutšeng le ge Honorable Speaker a boletše gore ga re ile khutša re tshwanetse re bereke, ke nnete ka re bereke le setšhaba sa rena sa Limpopo. MEC wa dikgerekgere o tlogile, e be ke re ke tlo mo kgopela gore re nyaka go bona Limpopo e le botse ka ditsela. Re na le tsela tše botse, re se ke ra bona ditsela tše botse mo di picture tša go China. Re nyaka go bona go na le tsela e tlogago mo Polokwane e ya go ko Venta kwa dikolo di sepela mo godimo, e nngwe e tloga mo e ya ko Motetema, dikolo di sepela mo godimo. Re kgopela gore ge a le gona le kgone go mmotša gore ke diralo ke re ge dikolo ya di sepele mo godimo re se ka ra šomiša tsela ye one. And then se sengwe gape ke lebogana le papadi ya kgwele ya maoto mo e le gore re bone ka team ya borena mo Limpopo e betša gabotse. Jwale ke re ke a kgopela go MEC wa sport, go na le experience ya football mo Limpopo, a gang ditediamo ka gare ga di-district tša rena ka moka, mo bana ba Limpopo ba tla bapala kgwele ya maoto. Di-stadium tša go swana le Peter Mokaba e se ka ba mo Capricorn district fela, e be ka moka bo Sekhukhune, bo Mopane, bo Vempele ka Waterberg. Experience e re nago le yona ya football mo Limpopo ke e kgolo, ene fela e nyaka rena re berekela go setšhaba gore re kgothatše. Jwale ke a leboga go bana ba bannyane, let us encourage them to abstain from sexual intercourse. If we can do that, I think, Honorable Mate,
Honorable Mate, order, are allowing Tate Maila o feleletša polelo ya bona.
no, that's
Order, Honorable Mate. Honorable Maila, are feleletše.
Dar hlomphaneng re kgone ho tswela pele ka mmereko wa setjhaba. A ke re mo ka lebaka la setjhaba. So jwale ke a leboga Honorable Speaker, ke lebohile ka moka modimo a be le lena le modimo a re nešitše dipula ko metsi ya rena yohle, ke a leboga.
Ke a tshepa gore ya pula yona le tla kwana le MEC wa agriculture gore pula a ene re kgone ho lema. Mme Honorable Evelyn Rain Wilson.
Thank you, Speaker. And indeed, it has been a long year. We've come through hotly contested national elections and the establishment of the Government of National Unity. In this House, we've had lots of new members sworn in, and tragically, we have bid farewell to the Honourable Chidi and the Honourable Maritz, very unexpectedly. And let us not forget, just last week, the passing and loss of Wendy Khoza. We have all dealt with a string of by-elections, and no doubt we will all be heading straight after the sitting to Tabazimbi. It has been a long year, but a rewarding year, and that we have continued to do what we can to uplift the people of Limpopo and give them what they deserve. On behalf of the DA, I want to wish each and every member of this House, along with the staff, a blessed break, protection over you and your families, particularly if you are traveling, and much joy. Family time is indeed quality time, and to be treasured. While some of us will celebrate the birth of our Lord Jesus Christ, other faiths may be doing something different. But wherever you go and whatever you do, be blessed. We look forward to the next couple of weeks and returning after the new year to an invigorated and ready to serve legislature. God be with you. God bless you. Have a wonderful break. The DA wishes you well. Thank you, Speaker.
Amen. Unfortunately, Chief Whip, you have to come now because gantši o kry-a gore ga motho o re ke tla o bona ka sekolo se tšwa a tšhaba ka break, so a ke tsebe gore bo mmeile molatša o mo kry-a kae. I saw the energy today and say, yeah, our Honorable Chief Whip Isop Manoko Mokgonyana to close the debate.
No, Speaker, re le nna ke tlhabe fase ka khuru. Ke o dumediše. Ke dumediše le ntlo ya rena e ke re amogelang madume a rena a go tlhoka le ka sekhuba le se setee a o tšwa mo go African National Congress. Ke nnete, Speaker, o na le katsana engwe be re rile re tlo ikgamelela ka sakaneng mamotlha, mara ka gore o ka re le ka mo gare a rena o na le ditshepi tša o se romiwe di boditše gore mamotlha o gamelelwa ka sakaneng o se ka iponagatša. Jwale e re palediša o di mmereko ka baka la gore tšela be re tshwantše re di dira one jwale e roa re tlo ba ra di dia next year ka gore tsona o diwa di tshwantše di diwe ka tsona eo e tshwantše e tla kgamelelo ka sakaneng e ka no se be ngwaga o se be a yona mamotlha a e re o re phologile. Re re tšee sebaka se Honourable Speaker, re leboge maloko ba ntlo ye ka mokana ga bona re sa kgethiše for mošomo o mogolo re o dirileng ka mo a ra nakonyana e nnyane. Le ka gopola gore re ebile le nako e ntšhi e be re tla ka mo re ehlwa letšatši ka moka. Nna sa le ke fitha mo legislature, nako e ke e berekileng this 5 months e ka be e lekana le ya mengwaga e mebedi or e meraro e ke e berekile ke thoma go fitha mo. And seo se raya gore re tshwanetse re le leboge, re be re le kgopele gore le ipethele matsogo ka seo le se dirileng. Mara re re pele ke kwa re sa yang, mošomo e sa le o montši o re tshwanetse re tle re o dire ka mo. And ke bone le kgonne o dira, mara ke rone le tše re tshwanetse re no di swaya-swaya. Ke no tšea advantage speaker ya gore ke name ke no kgalanyana tše pedi ka polelo yone e ke e šomišang ye. Ba le ba bangwe ke no ipotsa gore ba nkwa mara ba nko botse. Ore nke re re ge re o fetša ngwaga o, jwale ka maloko a ntlo ye, re ye re dule fase le malapa a rena le meloko a rena, re ba tsebiše gore re maloko a legislature, nama tše tla be re dija re di bešitše le tše tla be re nwela dinama tšewe ka tšona, le ba botše gore tla be di diragala ka baka la gore le bereka mo legislature, ka baka la gore ke lemogile gore o ka re le na le o lebala gore le a bereka, o ka re le na le o gopola o ka re le ya volunteera mo legislature mo. Ke bolela se speaker ka baka la gore ntonyane e nnyane e ka diragala bane gore no ka next door ka tse e hwile moleloko wa legislature le a sa tla legislature o na le mabaka a o re ka tse ka next door e hwile, kore ke ka mokgwa re sa tšeeng legislature la rena serious ka ona. Kore motho a ka no ra tsoa yo ke ra o ka re utlwile sešonyana sešo mo mokokotlo a lomile ke monang Honorable Mokaba wa apologize mo legislature le la rena. And le ba bagolo maitshwaro a rena a tsamaišana le mengwaga a rena. Kore ke e tee ke yo nyaka le o e gopola gore e le ka no re ngwaga o ge re o bula mo la tseba gore le maloko a legislature le a bereka le gola ka baka la gore le maloko a legislature re tlo iphina ka mo legislature ka, because ke bone gore ntho e lebetšwe o ka re mo ke mo re tlang la mafelelo ge o sena ntho e re ka e dia. Le ipone mo motho gore bo diragalang ka mo, kore tše dingwe a ke tse gore e le re le nyoko o ipiwa le nyaka re dieng, re tswele ka metse a lena re le tsoše re city e thoma ka 10 ka metseng re eta re le tsoše re ape mamotha sitting kore ene ebile o ka re le dia ka bomo, because ka tšatši le o ka re le nyaka kudu, that's when you show us gore no botsebotse re le tshwere. We were here maabane letle ka nako re thomile ka nako re correctile mamotha re re phasa pajero kore o ka re ka no bolela Honorable Speaker ra rona le ntho e re e dia so ba re tla ba bontšha a le bontšhe rena na se nka ra le bitše di-interview. We have never invited you to any interviews. A se nka ra lefa di-appointment letters. O na le batho ba le romileng mo ba ro le roma mo ba kgetha rena ba re rena re le tlhokomela, and re tla boela ko bona ra botša re lawa tlhokomelo ka mogola be le re idea ya pala re thušeng. So we can let us just do an introspection that we are members of this legislature. We have got an obligation to come to this city, to this house, when the house is sitting. We do not work anywhere unless those who have declared that there is another work that they are doing somewhere. So that we know. From where I'm sitting as the chief whip of this legislature, no one works anywhere except here. Hence, you have never complained about our salaries or your salaries, because I know that you must be paid, and the speaker knows that you must be paid. So what we are requesting of you, just do an introspection and start telling people that those around you, that you are employed. I know that o ka re le ba boditse gore you are not employed. Le no ba le mphiwa fela o lo kry-a somewhere. Go and rectify that thing. Tell them your children, your cousins, your grandmothers, your in-laws and everybody. Go and tell them today that the chief whip said we must come and tell you that we are employed, we are getting paid on the 15th of each and every month. We wish you happy Christmas and New Year. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Chief Whip. Ke kgopela re mmethele matsogo a sa dula fatshe. Honorable Chief Whip, that was a real message for go and take, re-energize, re-strength, take strength, come back, re-energize next year. We will allow the Honorable the Chief Whip to present the motion. Re lokollwa ke Chief Whip, le a kwa re felo mo, re a lokollwa ra bitswa ra boya.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Harsh as I was, at least I'm coming with the good news now. I hereby move that when this House rises today, it shall sit again on a date and time determined by the Honorable Speaker in consultation with the Honorable Premier. I move accordingly, Honorable Speaker.
Do we second the motion? Can I get a second of the motion? Honorable Mabuja.
Greetings, Speaker, and greetings to honorable members. Speaker, I second the motion by the Honorable Chief Whip. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Where is the point of order? Do they want me to put the motion on dividing the house? Honorable members, honorable Deputy Chief of Chairs, do you have announcements?
Honorable Speaker, me makoma makuru pechi, ki tšea sebaka se ke tamiše Chief Whip of the Majority Party ya Mokgonyana le maloko ka moka a Wipari. Ke dumediše esteemed members of the Executive Council, ke bona me Nakedi Grace Kekan, MEC for Agriculture and Rural Development, ke bona gape le MEC wa Transport, Eliana me Susana Violet Mate, MEC wa Provincial Treasury, ke ena ke bona ena Mahwai, ke tamiše MEC wa Dikgerekgere, Honorable Rachweni, honorable members, I'm rising here to make an all-important announcement. Gore ge re tšwa mo, re tloa ra kopana kwa Polokwane Bakoni Malapa. From here, honorable members, we're going to have our lunch at Bakoni Malapa in Polokwane. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. That is a farewell lunch for all of us. All members are invited to the lunch. Before I close, I received a request that I should announce that there are MECs that they want you to be there to do part of your oversight as honorable members. The MEC of Transport is inviting all members that they are going to be doing roadblocks through the portfolio committee, Chair, Mayor, Honorable Libya, all members. The invitation will be extended to all of you to support the Department of Transport doing those roadblocks. That invitation will be coming. Those that are available, please join. The second invite comes from the MEC for Education. We know that during January, she will be inviting all of us to do schools a monitoring program. All of us who must be available during school opening so that we can be assessing whether the schools have opened on time, are the books, and so forth. The other one is from the MEC for Health. We know that there are Christmas babies. I'm almost a Christmas baby. Almost. I'm almost. The 24th of December, so I'm almost. There are Christmas babies. They are first day of the year babies. They will be invite you and mayors to go and receive them in different hospitals. So members should be available to join there. The last announcement, I just want to all of us to know that we've got a baby boy in this house that is growing today. But this baby boy has a title. I heard men of God. Yeah, people are putting their own titles. He is Advocate Max Franco. And while in the courtesy of the Chief Whip, there is a cake that he's going to share with you at Makoni Malapa, Honorable Max. I shall just request all of us to stand up and sing for him.
Happy birthday, dear Max. Happy birthday, dear Max. Happy birthday, dear Max. Happy birthday, dear Max. How old are you now?
How old are you now? How old are you now?
You now. Hip, hip. Honorable members, thank you so much. We now come to the last item. The House is adjourned until next year, Thursday, the 27th February 2025, at this Leboa Legislative Chamber. Thank you.